It's time to add some spice to your nooner. Nooner Funny. This is the place where big-time guests, bold opinions, and little cute doggies come together. This is Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus, the #1 rated windows and doors in Columbus.
All right, here we go. On a Wet and Wild Wednesday with you, Rothman and Ice, Anthony Rothman, Matty Ice Hayes, and CB. Boys, good to see you.
Oh, it's great to see you on a hump day, big dog. I hope you're living well, because I'm living good. Hopefully our listeners have had a nice start to their day, because we're rocking and rolling and ready to cook again, man. How you doing? You doing all right?
Yeah, I stayed up for that doubleheader last night, the Twilight doubleheader with the Jackets, and then parlay that right into the Buckeyes. Went 1-for-1 last night in those two games. We'll talk about them. Diebler's Dogs getting one done last night, late night. I think it ended about, I looked at my phone, what was that, about 11:40-ish?
Yeah, in that
area?
Yeah, it was around that time. So, yeah, we had a lot going on. And then after that, had to get in the finale of Paradise, which was incredible.
At 11:40?
Oh, yeah, it was. I had to do it. It was on my mental, AR. The series has been so great. And knowing that the finale was available for me, I could not go to bed without watching that. So just shout out to Sterling K. Brown and James Marsden and the whole gang over there. You got to watch it, man. Okay. I'm telling you, it's that good of a show. And now all the episodes are out. So now you can just rip through them and you don't got to wait.
They're binge-worthy?
Yes, they are.
Okay. I did like James Marsden in that little one I told you about, that jury duty.
Yeah, you did show me that. You did love that. But he plays a president in this show. And so I'll just leave it at that. And I thought this is one of James Marsden's best gigs he's ever cooked up on screen. It's an awesome show. I'm telling you. I wouldn't let you down.
All right. The Buckeyes didn't let us down last night. And let me tell you, it was on the brink of Heartbreak City. And we expected the Huskers to come in and fight. And why wouldn't they? They're on the brink of being bursted by that bubble. And when you have, and I mentioned this yesterday, when you have seniors and upperclassmen who can ball, Juwan Gary's a 6'6" senior. We knew about Bryce Williams. That's a 6'7" senior who can get it whenever he wants. And then who's the other? Oh, and Sarkisian was great. That kid, 6'4" junior, who shot Ohio State right out of the zone late.
Williams is just nice, man.
And Morgan is a 6'10" senior. My point in all of this is these weren't some newbies coming in here that were going to just hand away their season. And Nebraska's still in the bubble. To the Buckeyes' credit, and I wasn't there, so I don't know about the crowd. But on TV, it looked like they were into it. The people that were there were definitely into it. And it was one of those things where they came out hot. I mean, Bruce was doing his thing. I mentioned Bradshaw about making his presence felt outside and inside. He was doing it both last night early. Bruce was on one from the start. And then when Junie hit that three from the West Virginia to end the half, then it felt like, okay, they're in good shape. The offense was cooking. And I do love that Devin Royal was getting into the paint and getting physical and getting to the rack. And the one thing that seems to haunt this team is when they have that lead late and they just can't seem to sew it up. I mean, this is up 7 with 2 to go. You got to manage that thing somehow to a victory. And what had happened is they managed it right into OT, and then were down in the first OT and looked like they were done except for the 3-ball. And they shot their way to a victory last night. It was something that I do believe there should be some emotion off of this. That was a big-time victory for them at home. They had to have it, their last home game. But the key threes in OT, the great ball movement that I saw last night, and the fact that they went from we should win it to we might lose it to winning it again, I think those emotions should take them through the week pretty well.
Heck of a game. And just credit to Diebler, the staff, everybody involved, the players for locking in and getting into a game where sometimes in this conference you can play games that are in the 50s and 60s, and sometimes you get into these games where it can extend out in extra periods of time, and you get into the hundreds. I saw the Ohio State Twitter handle, the Buckeye basketball Twitter handle, tweeted out that it's the second most points scored in a game in program history, what we saw yesterday from Bruce Thornton and the gang. And so I thought it was tremendous effort and aggressiveness from the guys on offense to get downhill, specifically Mobley and Bruce. And you mentioned the matchup down low. While Bryce Williams was awesome on offense on the other end for Nebraska, he had nothing for Devin Royal down low. And I thought that was great game planning there and continuing to go to him in moments to where they needed him. And the shot making late was special, right? You mentioned a couple of the three balls there. The three ball from Bruce that gave Ohio State 107 points on the scoreboard was great stuff by Royal. Bruce is going to get credit for knocking it down as he should, but Royal felt that double team come over, and the timing of the pass back to Bruce is what you need to have that sharp mind and a clear mind to say, I got to get the ball back quickly to a guy that's rocking and rolling. That was good stuff. And then Micah's three that gave Ohio State a $110 was just filthy. Couple jab steps led to a step back. I mean, that's just, hey, there's nothing you can do with me right now. And the lefty knocked it down and knocked in 5 3 balls on the night. That's the second time he's done that to Nebraska this year. And that was one thing we were curious to see coming into the season was when you take out some of the shooting that they lost last year, right? Who could step up and be a guy in spots to extend the defense out, create space. And yesterday that was Micah. Last year at San Diego State, he shot 29% from threes coming to Ohio State this year and shot 36. But those 2 threes for me late were just great execution by Royal and Thornton. And then Micah was just, hey, this is one-on-one. I'm at the park, and you can't check me, and I'm going to light you up right in your face.
Well, the other guy that did that was Bryce Williams. I don't know why they didn't double-team him late. You had to get the pumpkin out of his hands. They didn't. The only thing, and I said earlier, as great as he is, he's 90% at the free throw line. And he had one of the great games of his career. Mm-hmm. And he misses the one that could have given him the lead with 8 seconds. And Ohio State made him pay for it. Didn't get a great look, Ohio State, on the other end, but it's a good thing that they missed it because that would have put some pressure on Ohio State, obviously, to score there. But I thought they should have double-teamed him to get the ball out of his hands. Maybe they tried very late. And I mentioned whatever the crowd was, they were into it. And why wouldn't they be? They went out on a Tuesday night for a 9 o'clock tip and didn't leave till almost midnight. And Diebler talked about it.
The people in here were really impactful. And listen, I got 4 kids under 6, so I know the impact of a late game and people staying late. And I was thankful and grateful. I thought our student section was really good. And it would have been very simple for people to leave early, but they stayed and they supported us, and it was impactful.
It's the last home game. Now, it was a little weird that some people did decide to bail that I saw, even while that game was still going on in the overtime session. Maybe they just finally hit their ceiling on it, and Ohio State did get down in that first overtime, and it did not look good for them. They shot their way out of that in overtime. The way Nebraska started overtime with Bryce, I thought, okay, this is going the wrong way. But they rescued it, and now they got the rest of this week to prepare to go to Indiana, who did lose at Oregon. So they're going to be as desperate as anybody. Not even if they won, they would have been as well. But they are now in a position, Ohio State, and they know that they cannot lose their final 2 games. And what I mean by that is the game at Indiana and then a game in a Big Ten tournament. I think that, depending on how the bubble, and we have no idea about bid stealers, but this was a must-have, and they came through. So I do think there should be some confidence from whenever you win a double overtime game, and you come out on the right side of a double OT game, because if they lose that game last night, which they easily could have, not only is it demoralizing, Maddie, from a point of that you took the L in a game you had to have, is you just start thinking we were up 7 with 2 to go on our home floor. Those are the one in a pivotal game. So good for them. They were rising up when it counted, and they did not lose the mental side of it when Nebraska came out in that first overtime and said, we're taking this from you.
Yeah, the other thing that I like, too, you play in a double overtime game, and as a team, you only have 9 turnovers. I think that was critical, too. For the most part in this game, they took care of the ball, and that was big time to give them those at-bats to get to 116 points in the game. So mentally for them, I hope that this gives them a boost of confidence, because it should, because of the pressure that was on them coming into this game. Both teams had a bunch of pressure on them, but Ohio State specifically because they were on their own floor. And just all throughout this game, you could see the confidence growing and growing and growing. And then you get late into the game and you have a couple veteran guys, and Micah and Bruce step up and really seal the win. It's good stuff.
All right, good stuff from Ohio State last night. The Jackets will do Hockey and Hounds on their day off from down in the FLA with Sevo at 2:30. Emotional letdown. I kind of mentioned it when we were talking to Mets about they needed to put that stadium series behind them real fast. The difference last night, and we'll get to it, was the fact that I thought that game was gettable because Vasilevsky was in the net. It was a big point of emphasis for me yesterday when Johansson was put in instead of Vazzy, and I thought, and then it couldn't have gone worse out of the gate for the Jackets. But we do have some good news for them because the enforcer is signed and sealed. And this is one of the great stories I feel for the Jackets going right now. We'll tell you next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
A lot has changed in 30 years, but we're still that old shoe that feels worn in and well-loved. And well, we smell a little, but you've accepted that. The Fan.
1-800-GOT-JUNK is your friend with the truck.
We make junk disappear.
All you have to do is point.
All our people are in uniforms.
And our trucks are clean and shiny.
And big.
We leave spaces empty and clean.
For you.
1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
Anthony Rothman here for Tel Ohio. Banking with your best interest at heart, at Tel Ohio Credit Union, you are the priority. Open a checking account with the benefits you deserve, like early direct deposit and local discounts. Find the account that fits you at telohio.org.
It's been a great run. Care Heating and Cooling has achieved goals I could only imagine 30 years ago. But now it's time for the next generation to take over. This is Mike Weens, now the retired founder of Care Heating and Cooling with my sons, Dennis and Ryan.
Dad, I remember you saying that a family business should reflect family values, that a customer deserves to be treated with kindness and compassion.
And those values will never change. The reputation you built for being fair and honest is our greatest asset.
In fact, in 2024, Care was awarded a BBB Torch Award for ethics and named the Lennox Partner of the Year.
You don't earn those awards by leaving cat toys behind. It's an honor to continue serving Central Ohio as a locally owned, family-run business.
So, whether you need a tune-up, repair, or just honest advice, Care is here for you.
Call Care Heating and Cooling at 1-800-COOLING or schedule an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com. When you need a company you can trust.
Hoops fans, are you ready to score big and get lucky this March?
What's up? It's T-Bone. I'm here to tell you that Bud Light will be holding mini hoops challenges at bars and restaurants across town over the next several weeks with one goal in mind.
To send one lucky local winner to Las Vegas where they'll compete for $10,000.
Take your shot at March Madness glory. This week, join Bud Light on Thursday night as they take over Pastimes Crosswoods on Campus View Boulevard. They'll be there from 7 to 9 p.m.
And have a mini hoops basketball challenge that'll give you a shot at a Vegas trip and $10,000.
That's the sound of a Mountain Dew. And that's you enjoying its refreshing citrus kick. That's a cool breeze suddenly whistling through your hair.
Whoa!
That's you realizing you're now on a mountain.
This is epic!
That's you stating the obvious. That's you stepping up to the plate. That's you winning your kickball game.
Yes!
That's you taking another sip of your Do the Do.
Hey, it's Anthony from my friends at Germain Honda of Dublin. If you're searching for a Honda lease deal here in Central Ohio, I know you've come to the right place. Leasing allows you to enjoy that flexibility in one of their fantastic, sharp, reliable vehicles. I'm so confident that Rich and his team can tailor a lease deal that's right for you. Like a 2025 CR-V LX all-wheel drive, $349 a month for 36 months, 30,000 miles with only $19.99 down. Germain Honda of Dublin, Sawmill Road, just south of 270.
Here's a quick listening guide. When something's on the fan, it's on the station you're listening to right now. If I say something's on ESPN Columbus, it's on 1460 AM and the Fan's HD2. When in doubt, stream it on the Fan app. Thank you and good night.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is, fast for cash. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family. I even buy my tenants won't pay me the rent houses. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
This is Pause Before You Play, and it's time for more game day picks from local sports fans. You're on the air. Who you got?
Actually, I'm not betting, just chilling and watching the game.
I know that move, a pause. Sounds like you've got a winning strategy.
Exactly. After I set limits and recognized the risk, I knew it was time to stop.
Now that is responsible betting, folks. Sports are fast. Betting shouldn't be. Make a plan at pausebeforeyouplay.org. That's pausebeforeyouplay.org.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Nice and mild out there right now, but the temperatures are going to take a nosedive this afternoon as the cold front moves on through the region. Showers expected to redevelop around 4 o'clock and continue through tonight, eventually transitioning to a few snow showers after midnight. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your 10 TV weather impact forecast on 97.1 The Fan.
Bet365, the official online sports book of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
The perfect ratio of sports talk, dogs, pro wrestling, and gambling advice.
It's science.
You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
That is quite a menu for you. Rothman and Ice will have Schefter bottom of the hour. Zero in on the quarterback shuffle around the league. We'll have Ian Cummings, NFL draft analyst, in the second hour, Pro Football Network. We'll do Hockey and Hounds, as I mentioned, with Damon Severson from Florida. Winning streak gets cracked last night, snapped right out of the gate. We'll talk about it with him. I will say that when you're down 2-0 in the first minute and a half against that team, it's not great. Against any team, it's not great. But 2-0, 90 seconds in, I do think that the first goal, 30 seconds in, was just a routine shot. It was deflected, 5-hold Elvis. That happens. And then the other bad luck they had was when Denton unloads on a slapper, and that rims around weak side, and Kucherov is cherry picking. He's not missing. He's not. That's a guy who's not missing on the way in. So now you're 2-0 down. But the difference is you feel like you had a little bad luck. It wasn't horrible play by the Jackets at the start of that game. I'll be curious when we talk to Sivo, Maddie, whether the emotional hangover from the Stadium Series week with the home and home with a rival and how important those games were, because we talked about them for a week, on whether that did affect them. I mean, I don't know. But I did like, and this is what I've pointed out about this Jackets team specifically, they got down 2-0 in the first 90 seconds to a very, very hot team, even though they had lost to the Panthers. But Tampa's good. They knew they weren't out of it. Mm-hmm. They knew they weren't out of it for a couple reasons. One, they've been playing great hockey, and 2-0 is not something that's insurmountable for them, not with the way their offense is clicking.
And they have Zach Werenski on their side.
And number two, you weren't facing Vasilevsky with a 2-0 lead.
Right.
You were facing Johansson, and who, by the way, I want to tip my hat to him. I thought he played really well last night for a guy that hasn't been in the pipes for a while. And the moment of that game that could have changed everything, and you mentioned Z, that team's down 4-1 on the road. Mm-hmm. They could have mailed it in. Not only were they down 4-1 on the road, they were on a kill. Mm-hmm. The old Jackets, let's start thinking about the Panthers. Let's mail it in.
Yep.
Let's keep our guys rested. Let's not tax everybody. It's been an emotional time, and they came back. And that, if you want to watch one goal last night, go back and watch the shorty where KJ backhands one off the sideboards. Fantilli's wheeling in backwards, and Zach is beating everybody down, and now it's 4-2, and now you're back in it. It was the highlight of all highlights last night, and I'm not trying to make this a moral victory. What I'm trying to point out is that this Jackets team down 4-1 on the road to Tampa usually would just implode.
Just fold, and they didn't. And look, I don't know if Sivo's going to admit it as far as the emotional stuff goes, but I think this human nature – allows for that to happen, right? Which is everything that was swirling around them last, Thursday and Saturday with playing Detroit, and especially Saturday with how big of a moment that was with the hockey world just absolutely having all the eyeballs on that game and what was on the line in that game. And obviously there was a lot on the line yesterday because of where the Jackets are, but you go into a building to where this franchise has not had a whole bunch of success in that building at all over the years. And then you get punched in the mouth right away, like you said. But then Z does everything he can to get the guys going, right? He made it 2-1 with that coast-to-coast goal, which was awesome. Great defense from him, as we know. But the offensive production has been there for Z. And here he is again with another 20-goal season for him as a defenseman. And I saw last night, checking up on some stuff, that he's the second defenseman this year to score 20 goals. He just put himself in the class right now to where he is one of the dudes as far as top defensemen in the sport. We all know it, but just around the world, his name, I think, is becoming bigger and bigger. And so now it's just about refocusing and getting back to what they were doing prior to this hiccup that they had last night, because you came into last night's game with a 4-game win streak, and then yesterday you just had some speed bumps along the way that prevented you from catching your rhythm early on. So I'm not overly concerned about it, right? I just think this is a team that is going down a tough stretch on the road right now with their schedule. We know they have the goods to get it done. Early in the season, we talked about their struggles on the road, so hopefully that doesn't rear its ugly head again. But with Coach Dean and what he's been able to do with this bunch and just the leadership that they have, I think the refocus is going to happen and we'll get a better product against Florida. And look, this team's not going to have a whole bunch of success, as we all know, with Marchenko only getting one shot in the game, right? He's out there for a whole bunch of minutes, as he rightfully should be, based off of how good he has been this year. But that's something I want to see get corrected too, is Marchenko firing away more than he did last night.
Yeah, it's one of those things now where I pointed out the schedule on this 4-game road trip that I was all into just splitting these 4. However you get them, get 4 points. I wasn't trying to overstate this. They're in a pretty good spot in the standings. They're still the number 1 wild card at 68 points. And the good news is they're only 3 points back of the Devils in the Metro, and they've got 2 games in hand on the Devils. So that's very big going down the stretch as far as games played. They will get a very pivotal game against the Rangers. That's a team now that's slotted in above Detroit barely. So, and the Wings now are on a 3-game bender. Here come the Rangers again. So there is, in hockey sense, there's a long way to go. Technically, from a game standpoint, there's not a long way to go. You don't have a lot of time to screw around. The very good news that came out of last night was something that we hinted at with Don Waddell last Friday when we had him on the program. And that was he was not going to let Mathieu Olivier get away. And I love this story. I think it's one of the better stories we've had. 6-year contract extension through 2030-31. He got the big performance raise he deserved. But Ollie is one of those guys that I believe, and the reason why I think he's a great story, not only because he went undrafted, because I think he found a way to not just be pigeonholed into, hey, I like to fight and make guys bleed. I think he's a very versatile hockey player, but I love that he admits that it was something that he had to separate himself as a young guy. That when he was a young guy and guys weren't fighting, that he thought he could be that guy. He's not a massive guy. He's not. He's 6'1". He doesn't have crazy long arms. He's not a guy that you would think that would get in a fight with some of these guys and come out on top.
He's just got that dog in him.
He's got a little bit of
That's what it is.
Well, he's got a little bit of a boxing background too, which I think helps. But you can be on the bad end of a fight any night in the NHL. I don't have to remind you, they're doing this on skates. It's not a normal fight in an alley. But the good part about Ollie is he just wants to go. And he's not a trash talker. He really isn't. I think he respects a lot of these guys that want to fight. When he had that fight with Rempe, when Rempe was taking over, and he was like the new kid on the block, and he said, because most of the guys don't fight back-to-back games. You rarely see that. And he said to Rempe, listen, I know you fought last night. You don't have to go. We can save this for the next time we play. And Rempe's like, no, I want to go. And they went. And it's a funny story, but you got a 28-year-old guy who's a power forward in the league, who's very versatile. His ice time is up now in his career. He's got 12 goals on the year right now. He's got 18 for his career. So 18 in the previous 5 years and 12 now. So that he bleeds versatility now for the Jackets. And I love the fact that he went undrafted and earned an entry-level deal. They see something in him. He's really, really versatile, and he's really good. And I love this about him. He wasn't a standout prospect. He added fighting to separate himself, like I've said. And now all of a sudden he's paying off big time in their top 9 dudes.
Congrats to Ollie. It really is cool. And congrats to, the front office, front office for going out, acquiring this guy for what I believe was a 4th-round pick. And now he's going to be a part of your future. And you used the word enforcer before we winter break. You got to have these guys. You got to have these guys on your roster, the no-nonsense type of guys where other teams know, hey, you mess around with a Z or Marchenko or Kent Johnson or whoever it may be, this guy's got some smoke for you. But I'm glad that you highlighted what he's been doing individually this year as far as other stuff. Career high in goals, career high in points. And I just think that's what it's about. It's getting better and better over the years and adding to your bag. And that's what he's done. And the exciting part, I think, if you're a Jackets fan, is looking around, looking up and down this roster, looking at the ages of these guys and how they're playing right now and feeling comfortable and knowing, hey, front office, they take care of these guys. We got a nice core to build around and guys that can be productive. And this gives us some runway as a franchise to go out and do some good things. And Ali's going to be a nice piece of that moving
Big
forward.
part of it, especially the age is great. He's 28, so this takes him to 34, and he is delivering. I mean, career best numbers, as I mentioned. 12 goals, 21 points. He's a banger, too. 228 hits. So, I like being in those banger leagues, Matty. Penalty minutes, fights, blocking shots, all that good stuff. All right, we will come back with our guy, Adam Schefter. And could we have a reunion of sorts in Cleveland? Schefty's been hinting at it. We'll ask him next. Rothman and Ice in the Fan.
Texting enrolls you into reoccurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text HIM to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text HIM to 321-321. That's HIM to 321-321.
That's are us. When dreams sunk in, that's are us.
Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel, plus low to no monthly payments. Call 380-225-BATH to schedule your free estimate or go to bathsareus.com. 380-225-BATH.
That's are us. When dreams sunk in, that's are us.
I need a small order of sheet metal to repair something in the shop. It's not much, but can you help me out?
At Metal Supermarkets, no order is too small.
Wait, really?
Yep.
What about small home projects?
Yep.
For a car I'm working on?
Yep.
Any kind of metal?
Yep.
Cut to size?
Yep.
With no minimum order?
Yep.
How about 1,000 cut pieces of aluminum flat bar?
Yep. Choose from over 8,000 types, shapes, and grades of metal in any quantity you need. And yes, we're serious. Any metal, any size, ready fast. Locally owned on Wilson Road.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Truth of the matter is, you're listening to Rothman and Ice on 97.1 The Fan.
Thank you, Morgan. We are Effort and Schefty. He had hinted something on his podcast. And Schefty usually doesn't hint. There's always a hint of truth or a hint of something that may happen.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember we had the big discussion of when Flacco-mania was taking over Cleveland.
What a ride it was.
And
crazy.
And then I remember being very opinionated on the fact that if you think he's the right guy, then they're all worried about Deshaun and the locker room. And
that was me.
Yeah.
I was that guy, because what you were saying made sense. It just, we've seen that franchises at certain spots can coddle guys when it comes to the emotional aspect and what it can do to a locker room and just all those factors. Like, you buy the book with what you were saying X and O wise, I was hearing. I just didn't think that they were going to do that because of what it creates either outside of the building or within a building as well.
40 years old.
Is
I'm not acting like this is something that, you got to get him. I'm just saying that they got to find a bridge, and he may be just enough of that rickety bridge at the Wisconsin Dells that we can get across as a little kid and find a way. I don't know. He got quite a lot of playing time with the Colts. 8 games. And for a 40-year-old, 1,800 yards, 12 touchdowns, 7 picks, 65% and change. All right. Wouldn't that intrigue you as a bridge?
I mean, you know what you're getting.
If you bring in a rookie and him?
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be mad at that plan at all. You know what you're getting from Joe. Some of that gunslinger stuff can come back to bite you, but the highs were very high, and he led Cleveland to a playoff appearance that ended in Houston, and I think there will always be good memories for Browns fans when it comes to Flacco in the weirdest way because he used to be a rival within the division.
All right, let's ask the man.
NFL Playbook with ESPN's Adam Schefter.
Sponsored by Bet365. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
All right, he's the senior NFL insider for ESPN, the one and only Adam Schefter. He's with us now on the Brian Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Schefter, good afternoon, my man.
Hello there, guys. What's going on?
All good. We're just debating something that you had said on your podcast about Cleveland searching for their present and their future, perhaps, and maybe finding a way to mentor a young quarterback if they take one. I think you were saying that you truly believe that Cleveland, if they stay at that pick at 2, that they will take a quarterback. I'll ask you that first. Are you still in that camp that they're most likely taking a QB there?
Yes. I've been in that camp. I believe I will stay in that camp. As Sean McVay himself said this week, there are no absolutes at this time of the year. You never know what happens. But, yeah, that's what I believe will wind up happening. We'll see if it plays out that way.
Are you of the belief that whether Tennessee makes the pick or somebody tries to come up to get that pick, that the consensus right now is Cam Ward as the first quarterback taken at number 1?
That is what it sounds like today, March 5th.
Mm-hmm.
What it's going to sound like on April 5th, we'll see. Again, I am old enough to remember when Aaron Rodgers was regarded as the universal number 1 overall pick, and then the week of the draft, Alex Smith wound up going number 1. So there were people that were saying C.J. Stroud was going to be the number 1 pick. Bryce Young wound up going number 1. Hold on one second. Hold on one second.
Mm-hmm.
Free agency's right around the corner. This is the best time of year. Shefty's grinding right now.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah,
right now.
I believe it, Shefty. I believe it. Hey, I want to start in Cincinnati. I want to get your thoughts on a tag and trade possibility for T. Higgins. The Bengals are saying all the right things. They want to keep him long term, yada, yada, yada. Shefty, you know the game and how they're going to play that publicly. But what's your understanding or your feel right now on a tag and trade possibility if they don't get a long-term deal done?
I think everybody's waiting to see what happens with T right now, right? And so that's the question. They've tagged him. They control his rights right now. We'll see whether they keep him or trade him. We don't know how that's going to work out. So, again, that to me is one of the big questions.
I'm sorry. I don't know if we lost you or not there, but okay. We still got you. Well, I guess the question becomes, does he feel disrespected by the tag again? These guys, we don't know their personal emotions to it. I also don't even know what he would accept or what he's looking for contractually, what the Bengals are willing to offer him. Like, those are the details. It's very tough to diagnose the story. Plus, the other part of it is maybe he wants to be a number 1 wide receiver somewhere. Maybe he thinks he can have it all. He can have a great quarterback. He can be a wide receiver number 1. He can get the long-term security he wants. So I guess I'll ask it this way. Do you believe, are you hearing that they're very far, they tagged him, so clearly they want to try to continue to negotiate. How far apart do you think they are?
I don't think they're close right now. That's where I know they're at. Right, they're not close right now, to the best of my knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're waiting to see what happens here. There's been a bridge. I don't think T's particularly happy. That could change in a moment, depending on how negotiations go. But that's kind of where we're at right now.
Staying in Cincy, we got news out of their building today that Sam Hubbard is going to retire. The former Buckeye is hanging it up. What type of impact, if any impact at all, Shefty, do you believe this is going to have on the Bengals and Trey Hendrickson?
Okay, hold on a second. Okay. Yeah, the Seahawks are releasing Tyler Lockett, with a great player in their franchise.
Really?
So,
okay.
Yes.
Boy, that's a lot. What, 10 years, I think.
How the sausage is made live right now. Shefty, all I hear is dinging all over the place. In my mind, you got like 4 cell phones around you right now, and they're all just going crazy. But Lockett's getting 4 out of Seattle, huh?
Yeah, Lockett's going to be out of Seattle. That's happening.
Okay.
So there we go.
Okay.
Listen, he was, I think he's 10 years. We'll see. I guess now that he's on the market, let's find a landing spot for him. I know the Steelers are looking for receivers all the time. I mean, I know you'd just be speculating here, but now that Tyler's on the market, you have kind of a landing spot in your mind for him?
Yeah. The Las Vegas Raiders make a lot of sense. Pete Carroll's there. Pete Carroll knows what a great player he's been. That's the one that makes a lot of sense, and we'll see whether or not that happens.
Do you feel that – are you hearing anything about how the Browns feel about both quarterbacks or Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders? Are you hearing – I know that there's no way to know for sure, you're not in their war room, but as far as do they view one of those guys, if they got either one, they'd be okay, or would they have to make a move to number one to get their guy? Are you hearing anything, any rumors about what they feel about those two guys?
Well, I think you're saying Cleveland as it pertains to those two quarterbacks, or the league, or
no, Cleveland specifically, as they sit there. If Cam Ward gets taken, then and you think they're going to take a quarterback, then we can do the math. 1 + 1 = 2. They'll take Shedeur Sanders then.
Again, going into the process, the draft is 50 days from today. 50, okay? And I always say these players are like stocks. Player stocks, certain stocks are going to rise, certain stocks are going to fall. We don't know exactly how the stocks of Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders are going to behave here over the next 7 weeks and 1 day. But what I would say today, March 5th, I think Cam is right now has an edge on Shedeur today. And I think both quarterbacks are going to be high. If the draft were held today, whoever's picking one, whether that's Tennessee, Cleveland, or the Giants, or the Raiders, I think Cam Ward goes 1. Okay?
Yep.
And I think Shedeur goes 2.
Shefty, coming out of the combine, there was some buzz around Jackson Dart's name, that his name could be rising here in the eyes of some of these GMs and scouts. What did you hear about Jackson Dart going in and coming out of Indy?
I think he went in as a potential first-round pick. I think he left as a potential first-round pick. It's a question of where he's going to be valued. To me, it's a similar conversation to Bo Nix last year, right? Like, Bo Nix was viewed by some as a 2, some as a 1, wound up going 12. It's a question of how you like the guy and who's going to value him that high. But look, whether he's a late 1 or an early 2, Jackson Dart's going to go relatively soon.
Do you believe that Sam Darnold is going to get offered enough from somebody to not want to come back to the Vikes?
That is to be determined. I think Minnesota has an interest. I think there were teams that were waiting to see whether he was tagged. Now that he's not tagged, what is another team willing to offer? And we're going to find that out.
Yeah, I mean, listen, he's gonna shoot for big money, and maybe he could renegotiate and give the Vikings something here. But if they didn't want to tag him at that $41 million, then I'm wondering what he's looking for salary-wise. I don't know, man. I would think he's probably, you and I discussed this before, he's probably in the $40 million asking range, I would think, per year.
First, Darnold?
Yeah, like he could ask for that, and some of the Raiders or the Titans or somebody might meet that.
Well, I would say this, that Vikings deemed him not to be worth that.
Right.
Because they didn't put a price tag on him. So now that he's on the open market, who knows? That's going to be one of the great things about this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the Vikings view him, obviously, they view him less than $40 million. Is there a team out there that views him $40 million? I would have said yes up until the end of the season. And that hurt Sam Darnold's leverage some. But now we got to see how much somebody values him. I don't know that yet.
All right, well done, my man. Thanks for releasing the Seahawks news with Tyler Lockett on our show. We appreciate that very much. And we're going to
post about Las Vegas being a landing spot next as soon as I hang up from you.
Perfect. I led you right where you wanted to go. Thanks, Shefty. Be well. Okay. I wasn't even sure he was going to want to speculate on the landing spots, but now he's all in on Carroll and the Raiders and reunited because it feels so good.
Makes sense.
Listen, I'm okay with the Seahawks not wanting to pay him $17 million a year. He was that guy. I don't think he is anymore, but 10 unbelievable seasons and one of their all-time greats, for sure.
JS Singh, come on down. It's your time. They drafted you to be a guy eventually. Now it's time for you to be that dude. So looking forward to see what he can do with those opportunities out there.
Who do you think you are? I am. Travis Hunter is talking up the hype. We'll tell you next. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
If you miss a live show, you can catch the podcast. If you miss the podcast, our hosts have volunteered to have dinner with you.
Ma, the meatloaf!
The Fan.
For 100 years, our passionate Atlas Butler has been helping people. From those who have relied on us for years to those who call us for the first time. For our team, their families, and our community, Atlas Butler is here to keep Central Ohio safe and comfortable with trusted, convenient service. Call today, get it fixed today. That's our pledge to you.
Atlas Butler is at your service. Call 1-800-FURNACE.
No matter where you are, Coughlin is there, in store or online. CoughlinCars.com. 13 new car brands, over 1,000 pre-owned vehicles, 16 convenient locations for sales, service, and parts, plus 4 state-of-the-art collision centers. CoughlinCars.com. Shop locally owned, CoughlinCars.com.
Coughlin has the car for you. Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Guys, listen up. How many of you out there have been diagnosed with sleep apnea? Maybe your partner can't tolerate your snoring every night. You can't stand your CPAP machine. I totally get it. But the good news is there are alternatives to the CPAP machine. And Dr. Mark Levy is here to change your sleep and your life. Trust me, your spouse will thank you later. Dr. Mark Levy can customize an oral appliance that opens your airways, helps you breathe better, and, of course, stops your snoring. That's the main point. It's quick and comfortable and an alternative to those bulky, loud CPAP machines you always hear about. For over 15 years, Dr. Mark Levy has led the way when it comes to treating snoring and sleep apnea, and now he's expanding his practice to better serve his patients with a brand new location in Marysville. I love Marysville. If you're snoring and not sleeping, you need to call Dr. Mark Levy's office today. Do not delay. Schedule your appointment today with Dr. Mark Levy at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. That's 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. You can also visit him online at sleepbettercolumbus.com. And now, sleepbettermarysville.com too.
Ready to be the change and have a positive impact on your community? Consider joining the Columbus Division of Police. Starting pay is $70,000 plus, growing to 6 figures after 4 years of service. We offer paid vacations, paid holidays, and health insurance. Do you aspire to complete your degree? We offer 100% tuition reimbursement after you complete your first year of service. Contact the CPD recruiting unit at jobs@columbuspolice.org or apply online at columbus.gov/government/jobs. The City of Columbus is an equal opportunity employer.
Welcome to Nada Yada Island.
Next on Metro's Nada Yada Island podcast.
I almost fainted when the 4 new bombshells arrived. 4 free Samsung Galaxy A16 5G phones at Metro.
No way.
And finding out the 4th line is free. Oh, things got heated.
That's wild. Join Metro and get 4 free Samsung 5G phones. Only at Metro.
Plus tax. Bring 4 numbers and an ID and sign up for any Metro Flex plan. Not available currently at T-Mobile or been with Metro in the past 180 days.
Bishop and Friends.
When I had Odie as a puppy in the back seat, Jesus, take the wheel. I was always prepared with a liner in the back seat and with cleaning supplies because it happened a lot.
Bishop and Friends, sponsored by Diamond Cellar.
Weekdays from 9 to noon on The Fan.
military veterans, and active duty service members. You could become a certified cyber warrior with just 12 weeks of training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, and IT pros with these skills often enjoy abundant opportunity and a great lifestyle. Protect our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. GI Bill, SkillBridge, and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP.
Robinhood Gold members can now enjoy the VIP treatment, receiving a 3% IRA match on annual retirement contributions. With Robinhood Gold, the perks of the high net worth are now available for any net worth. The new gold standard is here with Robinhood Gold. To receive a 3% boost on annual IRA contributions, sign up at Robinhood.com/gold. Investing involves risk. 3% match requires Robinhood Gold $5 a month for 1 year from first match. Must keep funds in IRA for 5 years. Go to Robinhood.com/boost. Robinhood Financial LLC member SIPC. Gold membership is offered by Robinhood Gold LLC.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Airflow Heating and Cooling and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
Anthony sometimes likes to sit and stare at his bundle of Emmy Awards. Unfortunately, it's through the glass of the pawn shop. You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
Got to pay that electric bill. What do they want me to do? You can either buy another driver, pay my electric bill.
You're buying the driver.
It's not a great decision.
All day and tomorrow. We'll light some candles.
That's right.
You'll be able to see.
Maddie can. Warm glow shuffle.
There you go.
I promise you I will stop there at some point and get you something from the warm glow. It's such a long drive back.
Mm-hmm.
And then to try to time the stop there.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing else around.
Yeah, you'll get to it when you get to it.
What flavor would you like to savor?
I like anything in like the vanilla.
All right.
Like any of the cinnamon cookie, those type of things. Like the more of the fall warmish type of scents is usually what I rock out of.
Maybe like a snickerdoodle?
Yeah. Now you're cooking, CB. Like anything like that.
Some kind of evening mocha.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't be mad at it. Yeah, run those my way and I'll take care of it. Big candle guy.
How about a caramel corn?
Yep. It's something just calming mentally for me when I have a candle lit, you know. I told you, when I take showers, it's just candles in there. No lights are on. I'm lighting candles, setting the mood for me, myself, and I.
A little Marvin Gaye.
And the baths.
Some Luther Vandross.
What about the baths?
I'm not a baths guy. Baths creep me out. Sitting in a bathtub creeps me out. I don't know what it is.
It's just that simple.
You take baths often?
No.
No, me either. I'm a shower.
I rarely take showers. You're asking me if I take baths?
You want to admit that publicly?
I take showers. I do.
Rarely, though.
Just occasionally. It's not every day of the week.
Oh, man. I got a nice one in this morning after the gym. It sets the tone. A nice hot shower.
I'm sure. Of course it does. Sometimes you're rushing.
Hey, I get it. Look, sometimes you got to get a bird bath in. As long as you're putting some type of soap and water on your body every day, we're good.
Oh, I thought you said it doesn't even need to be that. Maybe a little Axe Bro Spray.
No. You got to have soap and water every day. At some point.
How do you do that?
Just
You're not in the shower.
Get a wash rag, get in front of the sink, and get it going. You know, and get out the door. It takes 45 seconds.
Listen, you do that. You and I have done this show together for a lot of years. I've never had any complaints. So the second you complain, then I'll.
No. Okay. Because if it was musty in here, I'd be
You've
like,
never said, "Hey, come on."
No, never.
Right.
Nothing to complain about.
I feel like I wouldn't do that to you.
No, I feel like you're a guy that you're good when it comes to hygiene. You know, sometimes you get in these studios for 3 hours.
Let's not say decent. Let's not say good.
It can get I would have to say something if I was like, man, it's getting a little rough in here.
Intervention time. Yeah. Bring in the candles. Turn down the lights. Let's have an intervention.
I'd probably start with some cologne for like a Christmas gift. It'd be my first hint. Then after that, if you don't get it, I'd be like, listen, here's some bars of soap, big dog.
You smell like O'Day Country Road.
You got
That's not good.
You got the torch clip? This room reeks of BO.
Do I have it in my...
I know it's somewhere.
I got it, CB. It's in.
I'll tell you right now, this room smells of BO.
That'd be me. Oh, my goodness.
All right. Travis Hunter, you're unbelievable. But you're not this.
He's not that guy?
Tell the folks what he had to say, Matty.
Well, I think CB's got the audio. Okay. We can actually hear from the man himself.
Go for it.
What's more difficult for you to do as a former
probably me what I do in football because it's a lot on your body. You know, Tony, he's a great player, but you got to do a lot in football.
So if you missed the question, he was asked, what do you believe is tougher, what you do in the sport of football or what Shohei Ohtani does in baseball?
Tougher is a weird word because that goes to physicality.
Mm-hmm.
And Shohei's not the same pitcher that he was, right? He's kind of drifting away. You know, he's had some injuries, and I get it. But if we're just looking at taking that at face value, being a two-way star in football, being able to cover a guy, tackle a guy, run, be physical, and then be able to run routes and catch a football, there are a lot of guys that can do that. Not to his level, but I guarantee there are a lot of guys that are playing college football. If you said, hey, we need you to play both ways, they could do it. Not to his level, but they could do it. But you can't take any baseball player. You can for the guys that maybe pitched in high school and college and maybe moved on.
Yeah.
But you can't tell most baseball players, hey, we need you to play the outfield or first base. And then also, by the way, can you eat a few innings for us? That's not happening.
And steal 50-plus bases. I think this is two different conversations for me. I think part of the conversation is skill. The other part of this is toughness. Travis wins the toughness debate all day and tomorrow based off of just the physical aspect of what his sport requires. I've always said, to me, the two hardest things in the world of sports to do is to hit a golf ball consistently and hit a baseball.
And the golf ball's not even moving.
And just to be able to control that in the landscape and in the space that they play that sport in, to me, is tough. But hitting a baseball, for me, I can make a case is the hardest thing to do in the world of sports based off of the miles per hour, the movement, all that type of stuff. Both these guys are incredible. The respect I have for Travis is through the roof. He played 85% of Colorado's offensive and defensive snaps a year ago. That's just incredible stuff right there. No other player in FBS played more than 56% of their team snaps last year. So to me, it's just, I see it differently. Toughness and skill. Shohei all day and tomorrow wins the skill. Travis, because of putting his body on the line in that world, he gets the toughness.
And that's
crowd.
probably what he was talking about. Baseball versus football.
Yeah.
It wasn't a pitcher versus receiver and cornerback. Like, I don't think that's what he really meant. But whenever you're comparing yourself as a dual position star, and you've brought pitching and hitting, they're so different that I think there's such a big chasm between that versus being a receiver and being a corner.
Yeah, you know who else is skilled, fellas? It's the Columbus Men's Clinic, because the Columbus Men's Clinic is the largest and most experienced men's health practice in Columbus. For a decade, the Columbus Men's Clinic have done great things all day, every day. It's all they specialize in, and fellas, they've gotten so much better over the years. It's crazy. Higher success rates, better administrative and medical staff, more treatments, and more happy patients. And guess what? Partners are happy too. Their ED, low T, and weight loss treatments truly change lives, and their experience makes the difference. Call 614-300-7400. That's 614-300-7400. Or go online to columbusmensclinic.com to book an appointment today. columbusmensclinic.com.
All right, we come back after a SportsCenter update. One NFL team currently doesn't have a quarterback under contract. I mean, you think about that, but they may be leaning a certain way. And if they lean this way, does anything change? We'll talk about it next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
Here's a listener tweet. Are Men and Bone stupid in real life? Yes. Yes, they are. Common Man and T-Bone.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
The Fan.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, where every nail-biting overtime. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio.
At Metal Supermarkets, we're all about getting you and your crew to quit in time sooner. That's why our service is a cut above. You see, no matter the project, we'll get you to the right metal, shape, and grade. Cut to any size, ready real fast. And yeah, we'll deliver. leaving plenty of time for the important things, like opening an ice-cold can of aluminum. Metal Supermarkets, the convenience store for metal.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter, and spring's going to be here before you know it. I know it feels cold now, but before too long, you're going to be outside running around, jogging, wanting to do golf, explore time with your family, get outside and do the things you love. Just be active. And listen, a lot of my friends, they're asking me about QC Kinetics joint treatments. They want to know if they should consider it for their joint pain. And if you're wondering, maybe you could be a good candidate, let's see if the answer is yes to any of these questions. Quality of life impacted by chronic pain, knees, hips, back, shoulders, other things. Trouble sleeping, walking, day-to-day movement? Check. Next, avoiding surgery, the pain, the downtime? Check. Most importantly, do you miss doing the things I talked about when the spring and summer are here? Check. Don't wait. If you answered yes to one or any of those, you'd be a great candidate. You can go in there, go to QC Kinetics, ask for their free consultation, find out what it's all about, learn about the latest advances in regenerative medicine. They've got locations in Dublin and Gehenna, or you can go to qckinetics.com/Columbus, or you're better yet, call 380-208-4544.
This is a Craver service announcement. Stop what you're doing and get 10 cheese sliders for a new low price of just $7.99. Your choice of melty American, spicy jalapeno, or cheddar cheese. Only $7.99 for 10 cheese sliders. White Castle. Follow your crave.
Looking to sell your home? Don't pay 6% commission. Call my guys at Sell for 1% Realtors. They're full service, not a do-it-yourself kind of thing. On average, customers save over $10,000. Give them a call, 614-451-6616. That's 451-6616.
Congratulations, you're having a little girl.
At that moment, everything changed. Our hopes and dreams for ourselves were instantly replaced by our hopes and dreams for her. We got life insurance policies from Shelter Insurance, so that regardless of what life throws at us, we'll still be able to provide the world to her.
Visit shelterinsurance.com to find an agent to help you pick a policy that's right for you. Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
If you're like most Americans, you've racked up tens of thousands in credit card debt. You're stuck with 20% interest fees, and even the monthly payments, well, they're hard to make. It's insane. Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. The good news is that there is a way out. AFLcash.com. That's AFLcash.com. Advantage First Lending. They specialize in fast, easy access to the equity in your home. Most homeowners have hundreds of thousands of dollars in their home equity. That's your money. AFLcash.com can get it out for you with zero junk fees and zero hassle. You can pay off all those credit cards in just a matter of days. Pay off your car loans too. Cut your monthly expenses by $800 or even $900. I'm telling you, the relief you need, well, it's right there at your fingertips. AFLcash.com or call 844-394-CASH. That's 844-394-CASH. Break out of the credit card debt prison with AFLcash.com.
Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 1209177. Subject to lender approval. NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Texting enrolls you in recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text HIM to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text HIM to 321-321. That's HIM to 321-321.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
And I'm Cole Bartimus. It's actually been a bit of a newsy morning, so let's go in geographical order. The Columbus Blue Jackets have extended Mathieu Olivier for 6 years and a total of $18 million. The extension will kick in next season, a season in which he will turn 29 years old. Olivier does the dirty work. He leads the league in fights. He has an astounding lead in hits for this Jackets team. He gets down and he blocks pucks, and this city has him for a while. Traveling down south via I-71, Bengals defensive end and former Buckeye Sam Hubbard has retired. Hubbard isn't even 30. 30. However, he ended the season with a PCL injury. The Bengals were looking to move him, and it appears that he really valued spending his entire career with his hometown team. And the Bears are looking to reassure that offensive line in front of Caleb Williams. They will be acquiring guard Joe Tooney from the Chiefs. This update is brought to you by BMI Federal Credit Union. Enjoy rates as low as 9.90% APR with a Visa Platinum credit card. Apply at bmifcu.org/visa.
Listening to Rothman and Ice, the #1 rated midday show in Columbus.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus, the #1 rated windows and doors in Columbus.
Second hour of the program, Rothman and Ice. Happy you're spending some time with us. We'll do some ins and outs. We'll talk NFL draft.
Yeah.
We had Schefty breaking news earlier for us.
It was fun. And if you missed that interview, don't worry. You can always catch up because wherever you get your podcast, type in Rothman and Ice. Everything we do, folks, from noon to 3, will be waiting there for you. Subscribe to the pod right now. It'll pop up every day in your feed. CB does a good job of getting that out there after the show, and you can catch up. Our podcast is sponsored by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
Did you guys catch that documentary, the We Beat the Dream Team? You guys catch that one?
We Beat the Dream Team. No, I've been watching the one about the new Dream Team, if you will. That's on Netflix right now. This one's on HBO that you're talking about. I've heard about this. I believe
it was on HBO.
Yeah,
and it's basically being touted as the greatest basketball story you've never heard. And it was about Grant Hill and Hurley and Jamal Mashburn and that group, Rodney Rogers and that group that was flown in to practice and scrimmage the original Dream Team. And it was about the fact that those guys, the college guys I just talked about, were robbed of the Olympics that year. The year that we had that American basketball was losing to professionals and the Dream Team had to start, and those guys lost out. And they were basically hired to be a sparring partner for Larry and Magic and Michael and Clyde and Karl Malone and all the guys. The only collegiate guy was Leitner. And they flew him in to do this practice, and Chuck Daly had them scrimmage, and they kept score. And you've never seen these college guys were so nervous. Chris Webber, I mean, dudes. But when they saw those guys,
immortals,
the trash talk, when Chris Webber says that Larry Bird said to him, basically, you better hit those bunks, my little babies, because this is going to get real. And it's how those guys, the USA Select team, that lost out in the Olympics, that was brought in to be a sparring partner for the Dream Team, lit them up. And lit them up, not where I say they beat them by 30, but where Daly finally had to stop it and said, okay, we're done now.
Throw in the towel.
And that this digital scoreboard read like 62-54, that the Select team had beaten them, and they hit everything under the sun. Hurley was penetrating, driving, dishing. Guys were hitting threes like they were in the when I say in the zone, in this little gym. And there's one tape of it. There's one tape of this practice, and you get to see it all.
I gotta check this out.
And then Krzyzewski, who was coaching with Daly, claims that Daly threw the game to make his guys believe they could lose, meaning try to mentally kind of orchestrate a disadvantage for his guys.
I'm not buying
with
that.
Michael and Magic sitting at times and all that. When you see the tape, I was so drawn to this doc. It was so good. They got all the college guys to talk, and the way they set it up. Now, when they came in the next day, it was...
Put the paws on them.
It was...
They're out for blood.
Savor the flavor, because it's not going to last. Yeah. But it's about the We Beat the Dream Team doc. I would recommend, because Penny Hardaway was one of those guys.
Does Lil Penny make an appearance? I miss Lil Penny.
Well, not
Sprite commercials.
Not Little Penny, the real Penny.
I know. I'm joking. I love Lil Penny.
Lil Penny. So the select team with Weber and Jamal Mashburn, I remember doing highlights when Mashburn was playing in college at UK and just saying the Monster Mash, like he was that good. But it was Hurley, Rodney Rogers, Allen Houston, Chris Weber, Penny Hardaway, Anthony Edwards, Grant Hill, and it was awesome. Mm-hmm. You guys need to see it. I think you as a huge Hoops fan will absolutely love it.
I'll start that when you start Yellowstone or Paradise.
No, this is not a series. This is just one show.
I had to get him, CB.
just one show.
I had to get him right there. No, but I've heard
you'll like it.
I've heard amazing things about it.
I'll send you the trailer.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to suggest it to my dad. My dad's on my HBO account. I wouldn't be surprised if I hopped on there and he's watched it already because that was his era too. He loved everything about it, and it was similar to what we saw with this year's USA team, to where you had, them going up against a select team. Now, I haven't heard that they beat them or anything, but some of those guys feeling like their opportunity got ripped away. Mm-hmm. But yeah. I don't care about that because at the end of the day, we should be winning gold. And if it took back then MJ, Larry, and Irving, Magic Johnson to do it the same way it took Steph, KD, and LeBron to do it, that's what it's all about. You guys will get your cracks at it down the road.
Here's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to wait for you. I'm going to text the trailer to your dad, and we're going to just cut out the middleman.
You do have my dad's number.
That's what we're going to do. We're going to cut out the middleman, and then maybe he'll beat you to it.
Tell him his son says, "Hey, and maybe send me some money if he's feeling gracious.
Send us some cash. My kid's strapped for cash." All right. I do want to play this thing with Schefter real fast, CB, because I told you the Steelers don't have a quarterback right now. And they're going to bring one back. And you and I have always kind of leaned for, let's see if Justin has anything left. I've talked to Steeler fan before, and some of my friends who are Steeler fans, do you know what their consensus is? They re-sign Justin Fields, nothing's going to change. 500 season, first-round exit. That's like who they are with him. That's what they believe.
Mr. Unlimited.
I think they feel the same way about him too, CB. And honestly, I can't blame those people that are Steeler fans that you talk to because they saw it last year. And while they were winning games with Justin, there was always this vibe of, okay, when we get to, some of the big dogs around the division, the Lamars, the Joey B's, and even outside of the North in the conference, will we have enough juice to keep up? I don't put all the blame on either one of the quarterbacks. I don't know if the playmaking situation was great around them, but the job of the quarterback is to be, an aircraft carrier. And I don't know if Justin is that. By the way, happy birthday to Justin Fields. He turned 26 today.
All right, let's hear from Schefter on their situation, CB.
The other place to watch this week would be the Pittsburgh Steelers because they currently do not have a quarterback under contract. It's tough to go into free agency, to go add to your offense when you have no idea who's playing quarterback. And that's why I think they're going to spend this week working on getting a deal done with either Justin Fields or Russell Wilson. I would imagine Justin Fields is first up in the pecking order. We'll see if they can get something worked out there. If not, it's easy to pivot on to Russell Wilson, and we'll see how this works out. But I would think Pittsburgh is determined to try to get one of these quarterback deals done in the coming days so that it has some clarity going into free agency. And that doesn't mean they couldn't add another quarterback at some point in time. But I think the idea would be to provide some stability now so that at least they could go into free agency with a little bit more clarity than they currently have.
I would understand the bet on Justin. I would, because there's still some mystique around him, I believe, probably within that building and maybe in some other buildings around the NFL because of his age, because of his skill set, and the flashes that you get from him. And the temptation of, well, if this clicks for us, then we found our guy, and we found our guy for years. And so for Justin, whether it's going to be in Pittsburgh or elsewhere, this is going to be a massive year for him. And if I'm Justin, this is probably where I want to go back to as well, right? Because I understand the offense with Arthur Smith, who's there, the playmakers that are going to be around me with Pickens, and I know Najee Harris is a free agent, but you got Freiermuth there. You've built some chemistry already with those guys. I'll be fascinated to see what a contract does look like for him, especially when it comes to years and how long they want to commit to him. But Schefter at the end hinted at possibly going out and getting another quarterback. I've been thinking about this too. If you have Justin Fields in your building and you feel like you want to take a swing on one of these young guys, I wonder how they feel in the building over there, AR, about Jalen Milroe. And having that as a lottery ticket and getting two guys with a similar skill set into your offense that can do some things and maybe it connects there. It's just something I've been thinking about with Milroe and possibly Pittsburgh if they do run it back with Justin.
I think you do it if he's cheap, and I think he will be relatively cheap from a quarterback standard. That's Justin Fields. I mean, if you can get him for less than $10 million, you sign him to a less than a Sam Darnold deal that the Vikings did. See if you can catch a little lightning in a bottle. If you do, he's still got runway. Then they can make the same decision that the Vikings made about Darnold, or maybe they commit to him a little longer. Or if you get him that cheap, if you get him at $7-8 million, maybe you sign him to 2 years.
Yeah.
That way, at least you have a backup if the next year going forward. So, yeah, I'm with you. Listen, I don't think anyone's going to attach their life to predicting he's going to be a franchise quarterback right now. But like you said, he's got certain skills that they covet and that not everybody has, that speed, that athleticism. And if you put the right guys around him, maybe he can develop the way people thought he could. All right, we'll come back with ins and outs. Next, Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
We have so many local shows, I can't fit them in a 10-second promo. So let's just say we're live and local all damn day. The Fan.
Everyone has that one goal, that thing they want to prove, not to other people, but to themselves. Then, right when you think you could actually do it, cancer. And that goal is still within reach. Oh no, I'm about to run my first ever marathon with my two best friends. 3 years after having cancer.
At least we look good in these shorts.
Woo! Let's get it, guys. You, keep making plans.
Visit ohiohealth.com/keep making plans to learn more.
Miss, your burger is served.
Thank you.
And if I may suggest a pairing, this is our finest Pepsi Zero Sugar. The sweetness of Pepsi perfectly balances the savory notes of your burger, while the citrus and carbonation elevates the taste for a truly stunning flavor profile. Bon appetit.
Now that is one perfect combination. If this is how the other half lives, I could get used to this. Burgers deserve Pepsi.
Care Heating and Cooling. When you need a company you can trust, call 1-800-COOLING.
Hey friends, Beamer here, and all right, somebody cue up the wedding bells because I just hit my wedding weight. Down 56 pounds with the Waken 180, and I officially weigh the same as the day I said I do. What's even crazier was how fast I took off what probably took me 6-7 years to put on. Only 3 months in, and I've made a complete 180. We cracked open the wedding album to compare, and yes, I'm looking the same that I did 7 years ago. Although be it a few more gray hairs with a 2-year-old running around, that tends to happen. I'm not done, though. Once you learn how easy losing weight can actually be with Awaken 180, your goals, they start to get bigger. Wedding weight, yeah, I hit that. But why not see what it feels like, what it looks like to be at my ideal weight? All goals start shifting. Who knows? Maybe I'll start hitting some 5Ks, playing tennis, being more active. Probably not going to hit 5Ks, but hey, you never know what's going to happen. What does your life look like down 30 pounds, 50 pounds, or even more? To find out, do what we did and make your own 180 at awaken180weightloss.com.
You still thinking job change in the new year?
Yeah, I need something that's in high demand and more stable in this economy.
IT?
Yeah, cybersecurity, maybe even AI.
That's what I did.
Really? How?
Went to My Computer Career. You don't need any prior experience, and you could start your new career in a matter of months. A lot of IT pros go to school there, too, to level up.
Sweet. Are classes online or on campus?
Both.
Well, I'll check it out. Thanks.
Make this your year. Take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students.
This is Corey Sickles with Safe Harbor Retirement Group. When you leave a job, don't leave your 401k. Grow your investment without the fees associated with 401k plans. Visit safeharboroh.com to schedule a complimentary meeting. safeharboroh.com.
The Buckeyes are national champions. And you listen to it all right here on The Fan. And next year when they do it again, it'll be here on The Fan. And the year after that, well, you know the drill. Always and forever, your home of the Buckeyes. The Fan.
I like reading because it opens my imagination. I love reading because when I learned how to read, it made me feel so special. and it takes me to a different place.
When children read age-appropriate books with diverse characters, they learn to see themselves and the world around them in new ways. I'm Ohio Education Association President Scott DeMora. Let's celebrate our nation of diverse readers together as we celebrate Read Across America all year round.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is fast for cash. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family. I even buy my tenants won't pay me the rent houses. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Feeling nice and warm out there right now, but don't get too complacent because some colder air moves in later on this afternoon. Looking at some showers redeveloping this afternoon. Today's high 60, but temperature is falling down to around 40 degrees by 6 p.m. Looking at a few snow showers tonight, low 31. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your 10 TV weather impact forecast on 97.1 The Fan.
Bet365, the official online sports book of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Rothman and Ice present In or Out.
Just a little of the old in and out.
Exactly. All right, Stewie, what you got?
All right, so obviously getting the Tyler Lockett news was great with Adam Schefter. And actually, if you want to see the clip, you can look on our X Twitter page right now. We have a nice clip out from our YouTube show from that. But this news would have been probably bigger, and it was the trade request made by DK Metcalf just recently with the Seattle Seahawks. So a lot going on up in the Pacific Northwest. I'm not even sure how I want to angle this, but are you in or out on thinking maybe DK on the move is good?
For Seattle?
Maybe for the league, maybe for a potential suitor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd be in on that. Schefter's reporting that he's got 1 year left on his deal, and he wants a new deal. So he's 28 years old. AR, I think, is it wrong for me to say I like the idea of DK Metcalf more than what he brings to the field at this point?
A little bit. I remember CB asked us this question a week ago or 2 weeks ago, and I think he forced us to say, who's the most unlikely trade guy? And I actually mentioned DK Metcalf. It's one of those guys that he's a pretty imposing figure, and thank you, CB, and he's coming off a year, as you just mentioned, where he caught about 60 passes or something, maybe a little around there. Didn't get in the end zone a lot, and guess what else? He was not the go-to guy. JSN they were feeding him. I know this because I was a JSN fantasy owner. They started feeding him. He was the one to have, the one to turn to. He was that guy. And so I think you could be a number one somewhere else, though, Matty.
DK?
I think he could. I think that if we got the elegant farmer on the phone right now from Quantico, Wisconsin, I think DK Metcalf would be an instant number one in Green Bay for Jordan Love. So I don't know if that would be the only play. We could find some other places for him.
I don't know.
You could hand him to a younger quarterback, hand him to Drake May, hand him to...
Well, the part that's I'm hung up on is Schefter reporting that he wants to go to a contender. So, like New England, I don't think they're going to be that next year.
A contender.
I like where you're at, though, with Green Bay.
What if he made the Raiders a contender?
No. Well, they got a quarterback.
Samuel Darnold.
No, I don't move anybody.
I do know the Raiders. I know there was a Raiders reporter that kind of quoted the news with a gif of Pete Carroll. So maybe there could be something there.
What if Schefter just told us that Lockett is probably going there?
Yeah, listen, both guys could end up over there. That wouldn't surprise me at all. DK's a good player. He really is. And he's got that. He's a physical specimen, too. Like, what's unfortunate for him is I think his one career highlight is him hawking down, Buda Baker, I believe, for Arizona after that interception. Like, the dude can fly. He looks like a wide receiver you build in a lab. So, yeah, if I'm a contender and I already have playmakers in-house, like, I would be all in on getting DK Metcalf because I think he can be one of those teams that puts him over the top. Like, if I'm Washington, I'm still swinging.
Even though you just
absolutely.
I think if you're the Buffalo Bills,
I wouldn't be mad at that either. But Washington, let's go. Terry, Debo, and DK. He can come to the flock, too. He is one of those guys.
I know.
You know how I always said, Derrick Henry was kind of born to be a Raven, and you see Derrick in that uniform and CB shaking his head because he knows, Derrick, it just worked.
And what he means by Raven, he means winner.
No, I was going to say he was born with the last name Metcalf. I mean, that's built for Cleveland.
Oh, dude, that's a good point there. But
yes,
that is a
and
good
I'll
point.
go even older than that. Who was his dad played for the Cardinals back in the day in St. Louis. You're talking about Eric, and I'm talking about Terry.
Mm-hmm. I think he is related to Eric, isn't he?
I mean, is it the Faja?
I'm not sure.
And by the way, Terry was a receiver. Now I got to know.
Look it up, baby.
Maybe let's see, Terry Metcalf, who by the way was running
Eric
back
is the cousin
receiver.
of Terry.
Cousin, okay. Boy, was he great back in the day, man.
Mm-hmm.
On some bad teams. Here's the difference, and I'll kind of put the GM hat on for a second. He's requested a trade. He's not a free agent.
Mm-hmm.
DK Metcalf can't just say, hey, I want to go where I want to go.
Yeah, there's got to be two parties that want to dance.
And what are you getting for him? Because before June 1st, they'd be taking a massive dead hit. So,
you know who else I think should be in the mix of this is Houston. I think you go away from the Stephon Diggs business. You let him walk. I'm trying to bring in DK and pair him with Nico.
But what are we trading Seattle to get DK?
Oh, I don't know. I'm just saying as far as the football stuff goes, I would like that pairing in Houston. Get off the Tank Dell and Stephon train for now, and then pair Nico with DK and CJ. I'd like that landing spot too.
All right, from one wide receiver to the next. This one is actually a free agent now that he's been released from the Jets. It's Davante Adams. Now, CBS Sports put together a list of potential landing spots and listed the Broncos as maybe one. Are you in or out on that location?
Again, I am. I wouldn't be for, well, I'm trying to think for him. They're coming on, good defense. Quarterback shined later in the year.
Yeah.
I would look at this more from a Denver standpoint than a DK standpoint. So if you're asking it in that breath, then absolutely Denver's a player in this. Sean Payton has to keep now investing in Bo Nix. And if you can get him this guy, outdoors, physical receiver, Mile High City, all that. He has that. You want to talk about guys that may be built for certain cities. He feels like a Denver Bronco to me.
I think whether it's he or Davante Adams, Denver should try to acquire one of these guys, right? And keep building around Bo Nix. And if you're one of those wide receivers, you have trust in a Sean Payton-led offense, right? Because in New Orleans and his first year in Denver, there's always good offensive production that comes from the franchises that Sean Payton runs. And so, Davante, DK, get out to the Rocky Mountains, pair with a quarterback that looks like he's got some promise. I'd be in on that.
You know what we were wrong about? We may be wrong about when CB asked us about the Packers. They are the favorite to land Davante, to bring him back. It goes Packers, Chargers, Niners, Rams, Steelers, and then the Broncos and the Pats. So they're way down the trough on the odds.
I'd still put my money on the three California teams, one of those teams getting Davante.
Chargers, Niners, Rams?
Yeah.
Or, wait a minute. Yes. That's right. I had to think to myself where the Chargers are now.
I know.
And then I had to think about Raiders and Vegas. Okay.
Yeah, from time to time, it still happens. I get it. Next one, Caleb Williams was sacked 68 times last season. That was 16 more than the quarterback that was second, which was C.J. Stroud at 52. The question is, now that the Bears are really trying to build up that offensive line, they got Joe Thuney today. Are you in or out on Williams going from the most sacked quarterback to the top 10 least sacked?
Yeah, I'm in. I love what Ben Johnson is doing over in the land of deep dish pizza. He realized this young quarterback stood no chance a year ago. And I was one of those people, I got caught up in I got caught up in the dessert. I did. Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, Rome Odunze. I got caught up in the dessert, and I ignored the vegetables. I ignored it. And now here's Ben Johnson coming in and saying, no, we're loading up on carrots. We're loading up on broccoli. You mentioned Joe Thuney. He comes in as an all-pro guard. You bring in Jonah Jackson, the former Buckeye. He's had some good stuff going on as well down in the trenches. I think they're going to be in good hands. Caleb's going to be in good hands, and that's going to allow that offense to really hum. So I'm in on that, CV. I like what Chicago's doing right now.
It's very interesting because he's got to go from being the most sacked player, he said, to the top 10 least. Yeah. That's a really big jump. But I agree with you that a guy coming from Detroit where that was the real priority.
Oh, yeah.
And the fact, and he mentioned Joe Thuney coming from Kansas City. Let's not forget they just got Jonah Jackson as well. And so it feels like that'd be a good lean. However, if he becomes one of the least sacked players, where do we put him in the interception range? Because if he just likes to run around and take sacks, his interceptions will go up, but I think he could be in the top 10 of least sacked with those two guys. All right. There are your ins and outs for today. Ian Cummings, Maddie, NFL draft analyst with PFN 365, is going to jump on in 2 minutes, and we'll get his feeling on Shedeur versus Cam Ward and who has the strengths, who has the weaknesses. The Browns are in play for sure. Rothman and Ice in the Fan.
Hoops fans, are you ready to score big and get lucky this March?
What's up? It's T-Bone. I'm here to tell you that Bud Light will be holding mini hoops challenges at bars and restaurants across town over the next several weeks with one goal in mind.
To send one lucky local winner to Las Vegas where they'll compete for $10,000.
Take your shot at March Madness glory. This week, join Bud Light on Thursday night as they take over Pastimes Crosswoods on Campus View Boulevard. They'll be there from 7 to 9 p.m.
And have a mini hoops basketball challenge that'll give you a shot at a Vegas trip and $10,000.
Something amazing is happening in data management. Even though storage needs are constantly changing, companies are only paying for what they need now. That's because CDW customized a Pure Storage Evergreen One SLA-driven storage as a service solution that delivers enterprise-grade hybrid cloud storage that is effortless, efficient, and evergreen. Simplify storage administration with Pure Storage and CDW. Make amazing happen. Find out more at cdw.com/purestorage.
Spring is finally here, and so are spring projects. So get them started at Harbor Freight's parking lot sale. This weekend, save on products like pressure washers for $69.99, 42-inch roller cabinets for under $500, plus 30% off Hercules corded power tools. Whatever you do, do it for less at Harbor Freight. Valid until 3/9/25 while supplies last. Limitations apply, so spring in before it's over.
Common Man and T-Bone here for the ESPN Bet Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Bone, did you know that March has a lot of college basketball?
Why, yes, I did, Common Man. And the best place to watch all the action and play the action is at Hollywood Casino. You can reserve your table now at HollywoodColumbus.com.
Not only that, every Saturday in March is UFC Fight Night. They're showing every fight on the big screen. Watching at home is boring. Don't be boring.
All the action happens at ESPN Bet Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Like trying to snap a picture of Bigfoot. Nobody has ever witnessed Maddie eating a carb. This is Rothman and Ice.
All right, back at it. Draft is coming fast and furious. And the man who's watching it all is Ian Cummings. And he is with PFN 365, and he's with us now on the Bryant Heating Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Ian, welcome back.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's been a fun time. The NFL Combine just wrapped up. A lot of talking points to go on from there, and a lot of unpredictability with this year's round one class. That's one thing that's become clear already. So excited to see what happens, excited to see what to talk about.
Do you feel like this is going to stay, the pecking order will stay the same up at the top with Cam Ward and Shedeur? All we've heard over the last few weeks is that only one of them could slide, and if it was, it would be Shedeur. What do you have to say about those two guys and the differences between them?
Yeah, if I was a betting man, I'm not. But if I was, I would probably bet money on Cam Ward being that top guy. I think in this QB class, it's really unique, not only the QB situation, but the team situation, because you look at how many QB-needy teams there are in the top 10 alone. It's the Giants, the Browns, the Titans, potentially, if they decide to take one, the Jets, the Raiders. So, but then at the same time, there are only two QBs in that conversation, Ward and Sanders. So someone who's going to flip, I think, if you look at them side by side, to me, the differentiating factor is the raw talent. I look at Cam Ward's raw talent, his creation capacity. This is a guy who can escape pressure. He can create for himself. He can extend plays. He can make some very, very impressive tight window throws. There are some plays that he can get out of that Shedeur Sanders can't get out of. There are some throws that he can make that Shedeur Sanders just can't make, and that's not a knock on Shedeur. I think Shedeur has enough talent for sure. The leadership evaluation is going to be different for every team, but it's more that he has a personality and more so that he's not a bad leader, but not a good leader. You've heard from, teams like the Browns, the rumors that they're sold on him. They have a connection to Pat Shurmur with Kevin Stefanski. So those evaluations are going to be case by case, but to me, the talent is the differentiating factor. I look at Cam Ward's raw talent, creation capacity, evasive ability, and I look at that and say he's going to get set apart eventually. It's just going to be a matter of time.
Ian, what's been fascinating for me to listen to and read is the opinions of people like you and the media on TV when it comes to Travis Hunter, specifically what he can be in the league as a wide receiver. There's been some pretty wild comps out there as far as guys that played in the past that are very good and guys in the league right now that are very good at the wide receiver position. When you look at Travis and what he can be just in that realm of football as a receiver, what do you see?
Man, that's been the biggest hang up for me, because everyone's talking about, oh yeah, it would be great to have this kind of turnover generating presence on defense as a corner, which is absolutely true. I mean, he is one of one when it comes to generating turnovers and being a turnover threat. But let's not forget about what he can do at wide receiver, man. That's been the biggest hang up, because I would probably keep him at wide receiver, looking at what he can do within that 3-level threat framework. I know he's a little bit lighter than you would prefer, but this guy can just do everything. I mean, as a route runner, the separation framework, he's got the speed. He's got insane flexibility and bend. I mean, that's one thing that doesn't get talked about a ton. We look at 40-yard dash times, right? We look at those high-flying grabs, which he, of course, can make. I mean, the ball skills are superb with him, too. But I look at how he gets in and out of breaks. I look at the ease of motion changes, the direction changes, the bend, the hip sync on those transitions. He is one of the most malleable separators and route runners that I've ever seen. And then he can channel 4.4 speed at least out of those. He hasn't the clock, but, he's got the vertical speed. We know he does. And then the ability to make the play at the catch point. I mean, there's very few people that you could put, toe-to-toe with Travis Hunter and say they're better than he is at that. So, and then also one thing I almost forgot because I was talking so much is the run after catch. I mean, you give him the ball in space in the short range and he can generate racks too. He can make guys miss. So there really isn't a component aside from, 200-pound size that he lacks at the receiver position. And looking at what those kinds of complete weapons can do at the NFL level, it's a compelling proposition. I would probably keep him a wide receiver. I don't think there's a wrong answer as to where he can play. I would just say play him 100% at one position. Don't get caught in between because that might hurt his outlook overall.
Like in the movie Die Hard, Ian, we didn't bring you on for your charming personality. We brought you on to talk, so you're in good shape, man. We love it. Let me ask you about, there's a good chance that this year's draft could feature the most running backs since this thing was reduced to 7 rounds back 31 years ago. Where do you stand on the running back class? How good are they? And are there a lot of starters in this mix?
I think there very well could be, right? And, we talk about the running back position. It's always a kind of not a controversy, but a debate that happens around draft season is how important is the running back, right? Because I think running back relative to most positions, you are somewhat dependent on the offensive line in front of you, right? Guys have to be assignment sound. There have to be lanes to a degree for your running back to make something happen. That said, I think in the modern NFL, we're seeing things shift. Teams are playing a lot more guys in the box, right? More too high to kind of quell that. And I think single high. And then you look at running backs being more and more important as a result. Teams like the Cowboys, for instance, kind of got hurt. The Raiders got hurt because they didn't invest properly in that. They weren't able to play ball control offense. So it's an important position. It's a very good class. I look at Ashton Jeanty as the guy at the top. That's pretty much a consensus opinion at this point. He is unreal. His evasive capacity, the evasive framework with his contact balance, his agility, his explosion, and then, of course, the red-hot motor, the grating physicality. But then even past him, you asked about about starter candidates, I think Caleb Johnson from Iowa. I think Omarion Hampton from North Carolina. The Ohio State duo, Quinshon Judkins, Travion Henderson, DJ Giddens from Kansas State tested very well. I think he's got that ability. Cam Scatabo from Arizona State. Aldi Gordon, I know he had a pretty down year this past year, but his 2023 tape was really good. I would take a flyer on him late day 2, early day 3. And then even then, beyond that point, there are guys where if you put them in the right situation, Bayshul Tootin from Virginia Tech, Phil Maffa from Clemson, Kyle Monangai from Rutgers, Dylan Sampson from Tennessee, if you put them in the right situation, they could at least be really solid rotational backs and may even excel and ascend to a starting spot like we've seen so many mid-round guys do. So I think it's a great class at the top with Ashton Jeanty, but I think there are plenty of potential starters down the board.
So the Cincinnati Bengals got to do a good job this offseason of not only taking care of, the guys on offense that are looking for new contracts, but defensively, they got a lot of work to do, right? Bringing in Al Golden from Notre Dame as their new defensive coordinator. Now with news coming out today that Sam Hubbard is retiring, there's questions of what's next for Trey Hendrickson, whether it's in Cincinnati or elsewhere. Is there a defensive lineman, a pass rusher that you look at that the Cincinnati Bengals could take with their 17th pick in the first round this year, and he could hit the ground running down there in the jungle?
Yeah, there's a few. I mean, I think that's a good spot to kind of need an edge rusher because you could take one there or maybe trade back a little bit if the board was playing out that kind of way. Obviously, Shamar Stewart is the headliner after the NFL Combine. I don't know if he makes it to 17 anymore after the performance he had testing. But if you want Stewart and you can't get him, I think a really good consolation prize is Michael Williams out of Georgia. He's around 6'5", 260. He's still got that same size, that athleticism. And I love how he can be used on stunts. I think if you're creative with him, he can be really disruptive. Nick Scordon from Texas A&M is another really, really appealing player. He's got the size and the density and the heavy hands. Then he's got really impressive finesse and flexibility for his size, too. Again, you can use him on stunts, kind of like Michael Williams. But Scordon is really good at multitasking with his hands, executing spin moves and then cross chops, double swipes. He's got that in his arsenal. So some really good players. If they're going to size down at the edge position and maybe, rush more from space, from wide 9 alignments, Donovan Ezuraku from Boston College is a really fun player, around 6'2", 250, but over 34-inch arms, super explosive, bendy. And then you've got Mike Green from Marshall, who's another one if you decide to size down. Now, obviously, there will be some character evaluations to be had there, but very talented player. He proved that he could go up against the best of the best when he was playing Ohio State at Marshall, and he's got that talent, too. James Pierce Jr. is another one at Tennessee. So it depends on what schematic fit Al Golden is looking for. But if you want to keep that same size and power that you've really coveted, guys like Sam Hubbard and Miles Murphy, the first-round pick who hasn't panned out to this point, I think Michael Williams, I think Nick Scordon, those are your top 2 options.
Ian, what intrigues you the most at the top of the draft? Whether or not the Titans actually make the pick and what they do, or if Cam Ward is selected number 1 by the Titans, do you feel there's intrigue around the Browns taking the best non-quarterback, which would be a choice, obviously, between Abdul Carter and Travis Hunter?
Yeah, that's I'm actually working on a 7-round mock right now, and that was one of the biggest, kind of conundrums that I was working through. What happens if the Titans decide to pick or if they decide to trade down? Ultimately, for the Browns, number 2. I think they're definitely a gateway team for Shedeur Sanders because ultimately my gut feeling, like we said earlier, is that if a QB goes number 1, it's going to be Cam Ward. That's my gut feeling. I think he has the talent to separate himself, whether it's the Titans or maybe the Giants trading up to number 1. I think he'll be that guy. For the Browns, it becomes a question of, is Shedeur Sanders the guy for us? Because looking at what the Browns are, what situation they're in, I keep hearing non-QB, and a lot of mocks out there saying non-QB, but let's look at their situation. Deshaun Watson, we know that situation is not good at all. If we look at Myles Garrett, he's requested a trade, right? Now, there's a lot of teams saying that's probably not going to happen. It's not feasible for the cap, pre-June 1st. But also, I think if you pick a QB, you might be able to win him back a little bit, like sell him on the vision a little bit more. Shedeur Sanders is a QB. You can get him in the proper system, like with Kevin Stefanski. Maybe he can pull something off. He's a very accurate QB. He does have good pre-snap feel. And then also, like I mentioned earlier, Kevin Stefanski has a connection with Pat Shurmur, who was the offensive coordinator for Shedeur Sanders. So any questions that you want to ask on the leadership, the character, they got the ends there. So they're a gateway team for Shedeur Sanders. If they don't take him, I could see the Browns maybe taking Travis Hunter. I think he's talented enough that you could play him wherever, just reap the rewards. But that's really where the draft starts for me, because I think, number one, the Titans have a decision to make whether they're going to pick or trade down. We've seen rumors that they want to trade down, they want to get more capital, and with all the needs on that roster, I can see that for sure. But I think Cam Ward goes number one, and then the Browns have a decision to make.
Yep. Good stuff, my man. You know we'll be talking again soon. Thanks, Ian.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
Ian Cummings, NFL Draft Analyst, PFN 365, on the Bryant Heating Cooling Systems Fan-Guest Hotline. All right, we come back with the Buckeye Bulletin. We know he has the size. We know he has talent. Does he have enough to crack the QB competition? Our Bobby Carpenter sat down with Lincoln Kienholz on the Buckeye Cruise for Cancer. You'll hear it next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
Wake up with the Fan. Eat lunch with the Fan. Go to bed with the Fan. Dream about the Fan. Then change your sheets. Gross.
Ew, you guys are gross, but stick around in case I don't find anyone else.
The Fan.
New treatments for joint pain are here. By now, you've heard about regenerative medicine. If you're wondering if you're a good candidate, answer these questions. First, does chronic pain in your knees, hips, shoulders, or other joints keep you from doing the things you enjoy? Golfing, jogging, time with the family. Does it hurt doing the things you need to do, like getting out of bed, sleeping, working, and walking? And finally, do you want to avoid surgery and all of the pain, long recovery, and uncertainty that comes with it? If you answered yes to any of those, you need to call QC Kinetics now. Learn about exciting advancements in regenerative treatments that can give you long-lasting pain relief, with no drugs, no surgery, and no downtime. Get your free consultation today. Call QC Kinetics. That's QC Kinetics. Here's the phone number.
Call now, 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. QC Kinetics, 380-208-4544.
Hey, it's Anthony, and I've got a fitting personalized for you. From the moment you walk in the Good Feet store, they're going to take the time to understand your unique lifestyle, your daily routines, and most importantly, the pain that brought you in to see them in the first place. If your feet ache after a long day or that discomfort starts radiating through your knees, your hips, your back, I've been there. The Good Feet store is going to help you where you need relief and find the arch supports that work best for you. And they're working for me. I walked all over the place in New Orleans covering the big game. I was loving it. I literally was walking for miles around the French Quarter, Canal Street, everywhere, because I had my personally fit arch supports in my shoes. For more than 30 years, the Good Feet store has helped thousands of people get back to feeling comfort on a daily basis. I want you to be one of them. Go in, take the free test walk. They're immediately available. Good Feet products are proudly made in the USA on Polaris Parkway and on Stringtown Road in Grove City, or goodfeet.com.
Care Heating and Cooling. Honest technicians, honest pricing. Call 1-800-COOLING.
Hey folks, Austin Ward here. Over the past 10 years, the weight loss industry has seen it all. New medications, fad diets, sculpting, yet Awaken 180 still stands alone as the proven solution for lasting weight loss. Results at awaken180weightloss.com.
Military veterans and active duty service members, you could become a certified cyber warrior with just 12 weeks of training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, and IT pros with these skills often enjoy abundant opportunity and a great lifestyle. Protect our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. GI Bill, SkillBridge, and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP.
We have a lot of football happening. I'm here to help. Set your radio preset to the Fan. Very good. Now set the second one to ESPN Columbus. It's the HD2 button. Lastly, go to the Fan's HD3 and save the Fan 3. Crisis averted. You're welcome.
Evan Cohen here. Picking a place to build a life is a lot like selecting a draft pick. Make a decision that will set you up for long-term success. Pick Wisconsin. In Wisconsin, you'll find dynamic career opportunities, beautiful seasons, affordable living, and legendary weekends. From its high quality of life and great schools to its fine arts, culinary, and pro sports scenes, Wisconsin gives you so much to look forward to. That's why you should pick Wisconsin. Learn more about making Wisconsin your home. Visit pickwisconsin.com.
Progressive knows there's so many great things about being a sports fan. Like scoring the company box seats. How great is that? Trick plays that actually work. Prevent defense when your team is winning by a lot. And even more preventative prevent defense as they're hanging on by a thread. And of course, saving money when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive. That's pretty great. Just like trick plays that actually work.
Yeah, but how often does that happen?
Complaining about sports, not so great. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Rothman and Ice present Buckeye Bulletin.
Sponsored by Logan AC and Heat Services. Feeling the chill? Call the experts at Logan Services now for hot deals on Train furnaces, including 0% APR for 60 months.
All right, Buckeye Bulletin time. I thought one of the more interesting decisions that's been made since the national championship is that Lincoln Kienholz is sticking and staying. I think there was a chance that he could have gone into the portal knowing what a lot of people believe is a two-horse race, perhaps, at quarterback. This is a redshirt freshman who enrolled last year. He believes he's in the mix with Sain and Tavian St. Clair, who's the big freshman from Bellefontaine. But Kienholz spent this year as the fourth stringer on this depth chart. He did get into a couple games. He didn't attempt to pass. All of his career pass attempts came last season, most of them that lost to Mizzou in that Cotton Bowl. So he is coming from a different angle to try to get into this race, and that's why I thought it was very impressive that because, listen, he was part of a championship team, could have said, I don't think I got a shot at this. I want to play somewhere. He didn't. He's staying, and our guy Bobby Carpenter caught up with Lincoln on the Buckeye Cruise for Cancer.
Lincoln Kienholz, quarterback, Ohio State. Is this the first cruise you've been on?
This is my second cruise I've been on, but the first here, so.
First Buckeye Cruise, though. How has this been different than maybe the other one you went on with a family?
Honestly, it's honestly pretty similar, but, I mean, I'd say some differences are just, like, the Buckeye fans, obviously, and, I mean, obviously there's only, like, 600 people on it anyway, too, so, yeah, that's about it.
A little smaller. I mean, you're a kid from South Dakota. You come here, and people talk about Buckeye Nation. I've talked to Tegra, Carson. I mean, but when you're not in the state, maybe you kind of have an idea over the last 3 years, seeing that and now seeing this, you know, what has been your experience with it?
Yeah, I mean, for me, Ohio State's been just nothing short of just amazing. I mean, the people, the place, coaching, everything like that, it's just been amazing. And then just to come on here and meet really all the people in the background, you know, that support our football team and support this cruise and just a great cause. So,
yes, sir. Kid from South Dakota, you come here, 3-sport athlete. What has the development been like? Everyone talks about how good, you know, Coach Day has been, Chip, you know, heard Will talking about Billy. Like, talk about that relationship, that development over the last 3 years.
Yeah, I mean, just being a 3-sport athlete, I didn't get to focus on just football while I was there, and then just since I've been here, I think my skills have just gotten better and better to a point where I think I'm in a good position to compete for this job this year. And just coaching with Coach Kelly, Coach Day, and Billy for sure. I think they all put me and all quarterbacks in a great spot to succeed. So,
absolutely. What Will comes in, you know, fifth-year guy, you know, played a lot of football. Comes in, you know, becomes the leader, and we kind of watched that grow throughout the season. I mean, what was it like being around him? What are some things that you took away maybe from Will over last year?
Yeah, I mean, Will's just a great leader. He's a super personal guy as well. He's super easy to get along with. Honestly, I think he had a great connection with a bunch of different players on the team as well. And I mean, just stuff I learned from him. I mean, I just got to sit behind him and kind of learn how he takes game days week to week, and I think that's special, and I could use that going forward. So,
all right. So I remember sitting with you like 3.5 years ago, Thanksgiving weekend, skinny kid in the office. You got your little brother in here. Like we're kind of looking like a dude now.
Yeah.
I mean, how much weight have we put on over the 3 years?
Yeah, I think I was like 184, 183 when I first got here. Now I'm like 211, 212. So, I mean, what is that? Like 30 pounds, something like that. So yeah.
Can we still do? I mean, I watch these basketball highlights. I mean, can we still throw it down?
Yeah, I can. I mean, it's getting a little harder for some reason, but I mean, I'm trying to keep my vert up a little bit in the weight room with Coach Mick as well, but it's starting to get a little harder.
So talk about that offseason. You know, Coach Mick, you're in the thick of this. You've been through a number of these things. You know, I always tell people going in to play college football will be the hardest thing most people do in their entire life. You get there, you're dumped into the offseason. You know, what is it like being with Coach Mick in the weight weight room?
Yeah, I mean, he's awesome. And, I mean, also just this year's different for me because, I mean, I'm the oldest quarterback in the room, so I got to be that leader for us. And, I mean, I'm only a sophomore, so it seems a little weird. But, yeah, I think Coach Mick is great. He's putting us all in a great position to succeed. He's testing us on our leadership and everything like that, too. So,
I mean, are you prepared to try to win the Fan Bike Challenge this year?
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be
beat
hard.
JJ?
I mean, if we can get JJ tired, maybe, but I'm also going to get tired myself, so it's going to be hard. So,
you talk about the receivers in here. You come to Ohio State, and it's like when you're playing in South Dakota. I don't care where you're playing in high school, and you walk into see these guys. I mean, what does that do for your job? And everybody sees the top guys that are playing, and JJ and Emeka and Carnell. But I always say, like, Milan, like all these dudes that maybe people don't even know about, just the depth in that room and what they provide.
Yeah, I mean, just being here, I think one thing I learned a lot from Will last year, I mean, he said it in a press conference or something, he said that he doesn't need to be a hero here like he did at K-State. Like, he has a bunch of different people around him that can make plays and just make his job so much easier. And then he also said that he just needs to put the ball in the right spot for them to go make plays. So, yeah, it's pretty easy.
You talked about, being a leader now, oldest guy in the room. Difference from last offseason coming in where you're still a young guy now, quarterback battle open, you guys are going back and forth, but then also trying to embrace that leadership role. How does that change here, maybe how you approach the offseason and what those lifting sessions are like, mat drills and everything else?
Yeah, I mean, I think just from this year, the difference from last year is just, I mean, I got to step up and I got to be that leader. I need to be someone that my teammates can look at and they know that he's a dog. He's someone that can win and things like that. I mean, last year was a little different. We had 4 quarterbacks kind of compete for the job, stuff like that. So I mean, it's a little different. But now it's just 3 of us, and we're just trying to work hard. And yeah, I mean.
So, lastly, I'll leave you with this. Talk a little bit about what makes Coach Day so special, not only as a quarterback's coach who's working there and obviously always involved. I mean, he can be the head coach and GM, all that stuff, but when you're in a position, could you never lose a little bit of that? Maybe some of the nuggets that he's throwing at you guys, and then what kind of changed over that 4-game run and the relationship that the players and everybody you guys have with him?
Yeah, I mean, I'll kind of start with Coach Day. I mean, since I got here as a freshman, he's had a huge impact on quarterbacks' lives for sure. And then, I mean, just with those past 4 games, something clicked with us players too. We're like, I mean, yes, we lost, we were a little bummed out, but then also we have 4 games with this team together for the rest of our lives, and I think that kind of changed everything for us, and it kind of boosted the energy in the building and everything like that. And I think it all started with Coach Shea. He kind of planted that all in our minds. So,
well, appreciate it, Link. Thank you so much, man. Enjoy the rest of the boat.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you, gentlemen. And I do think it was one of the under-the-radar stories from after the game, after the championship, that he decided to stay. I mean, I think it's one of those weird... The winter window extended, obviously, all the way for teams that are playing deeper in the postseason, like Ohio State. He could have reversed that decision. I think he had until 5 days after the Buckeyes championship to enter the portal. But he met with the coaches, and he wanted to stay here and make a push at winning the starting job at the beginning of spring practice, and it's going to be tough. I think he comes from probably that 2A pecking order on that he's been here and Tavian hasn't, but St. Clair comes in with all the hype.
Oh, yeah.
And so there's going to be a lot there. But Bobby was right. This is a kid who was a 3-sport athlete in high school. Played basketball, baseball, football. He's got it. And so he can throw, he can run, he can do all that. And so he's got a belief system that he can get in the mix on this.
Internally, he's got a bunch of confidence, and he should, because his entire life he's played at a very high level, been leaders of teams, and now here he is with a chance to step into the box and hopefully hit a home run for his sake. And so whether it's Julian, Lincoln, or Tavian, those guys are going to get put through it. Coach Day is going to make those guys earn it, and they're going to pick the best man for the team. And Lincoln, I'm sure, will do everything in his power to be that guy come week 1 against Texas.
All right, we will stay with football at the top of the hour after a Sports Center update, because we got a huge signing in the NFL, huge extension in the NFL. We'll tell you who that is and how much he got. And there's one college coach who has some pretty big concern on the big picture effect in week 1 of the season. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
We test marketed naming the show A Guy and His Butlers.
Oh, that is very touching.
But we thought Bishop and Friends had a better ring to it.
Weekday mornings at 9.
The Fan.
At Bob's Discount Furniture, you get the lowest prices every day. Like our modular Bob, which configures to fit your family at just $250 each section. Sleep well on our game-changing mattresses like my highly rated Prize and news-making Treasure, and quality meets value with our Ellington dining set. Only $12.99 every day. No phony sales ever.
For plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling, there's only one team. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222 or visit them online at thewaterworks.com. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
I'm an old school Joe. I never lay juice I don't want to lay. I don't hate my money like that. I'd rather lay minus 108 than minus 110, wouldn't you? Prime Sports is Ohio's full-time reduced juice sportsbook. Download the Prime Sports Ohio app or visit our website, primesportsbook.com. Get a welcome bonus to match your initial deposit up to $400 in bonus bets. And be a member of the Prime Sports family.
Terms and conditions apply. Visit website for details. Must be 21 and present in Ohio. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Do you realize making the minimum monthly payments on your credit cards, it'll take nearly 20 years to pay them off? What if I told you there's a way for you to get them all paid off in just a matter of weeks? Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Imagine wiping out all of your credit cards. Here's where you go. AFLcash.com. That's AFLcash.com. Advantage First Lending is the easy button for tapping in to hundreds of thousands of dollars in your home equity. That's not the bank money, it's your money. Listen, your home, the value is way up. And now AFLcash.com has a super fast, hassle-free program that lets you turn that equity into cash. People who do this are living their best life, their credit card debt free, with cash left over for other stuff like home improvements, maybe a vacation. See how much money you can get now. Go to AFLcash.com or call 844-394-CASH. That's 844-394-CASH. Say goodbye to greedy credit card companies. That's AFLcash.com.
Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 1209177. Subject to lender approval. NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
Roll Up to Win is back at Tim Hortons. We're rolling out great prizes like a 2025 Ford Bronco, $500 daily jackpots, Xboxes, and more. You can earn rolls with your purchase of an eligible hot or cold beverage and favorite breakfast item. A whole new way to earn rolls this year. Visit your neighborhood Tim's and download the app for great food and more opportunities to roll up to win. No purchase necessary. Tim Hortons app required. See rules on app for details. Entered by 3/23/25. Sponsored by Tim Hortons.
Vivid Seats is your ultimate destination for basketball and hockey this season. With a game-changing rewards program and an unbeatable selection of tickets, they make it easy for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every one-timer and buzzer-beating 3 live and in person from your favorite seat. Plus, every ticket is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Don't miss out. Visit VividSeats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN. Get your yard game ready with Ego, the #1 rated brand in cordless outdoor power. Ego has nearly 200,000 5-star reviews from homeowners like you. Ego delivers the power of gas, but without the noise, fuss, or fumes. Best of all, Ego 56-volt arc lithium batteries are universal, so they fit all 90 tools. Power your yard, power your tailgate, power your life. Learn more at egopowerplus.com.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
And I'm Cole Bartimus. It's actually been a bit of a newsy morning, so let's go in geographical order. The Columbus Blue Jackets have extended Mathieu Olivier for 6 years and a total of $18 million. The extension will kick in next season, a season in which he will turn 29 years old. Olivier does the dirty work. He leads the league in fights. He has an astounding lead in hits with his Jackets team. He gets down and he blocks pucks, and this city has him for a while. Traveling down south via I-71, Bengals defensive end and former Buckeye Sam Hubbard has retired. Hubbard isn't even 30. However, he ended the season with a PCL injury. The Bengals were looking to move him, and it appears that he really valued spending his entire career with his hometown team. And the Bears are looking to reassure that offensive line in front of Caleb Williams. They will be acquiring guard Joe Tooney from the Chiefs. This update is brought to you by BMI Federal Credit Union. Enjoy rates as low as 9.90% APR with a Visa Platinum credit card. Apply at bmifcu.org/visa.
Most shows just skim the surface, but Rothman and I feel like the biggest story of the day deserves a closer look. It's time for a deeper dive.
Sponsored by Low T Center. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
All right, final hour of the program, Rothman and Ice. We'll have Hockey and Hounds, bottom of the hour with Sevo, 2:30, as they get ready to try to start a new streak against the Panthers, and that will not be easy. But we knew this roadie wouldn't be, and now the intensity goes up and the expectations go up. They are the story of the NHL. Sweeping Detroit there with the home and home, coming off the Stadium Series win, now believing you're a true playoff contender, maybe going from a team that could make it to should make it. A lot goes up for this Jackets team. We'll talk to Sevo at 2:30 about it. The other thing that we noticed in the last few minutes is there are a few people that might be very happy right now. And I'm not even talking about the guy that signed the extension. I'm talking about the other guys that are knocking on that door. Myles Garrett, Micah Parsons, Trey Hendrickson, guys that want big money.
Oh, yeah.
And the Raiders, well, let me go back for a quick second here. When Max Crosby of the Raiders, after the Eagles won the Super Bowl, he posted, I believe, and this wasn't right after the Super Bowl, I think this was fairly recent, a quote saying life is beautiful, which is fine. It is beautiful. He's an NFL star. It was the emoji that caught everybody's attention. And the emoji was of an eagle. And so everyone started to speculate he wants to leave Vegas and go join the champs. And there are a lot of rumors circulating around the league involving him. And he never really asked for a trade, right? He wasn't one of those guys that he didn't pull a Myles Garrett. He's not requested a trade. I believe, Maddie, he had 2 more years left on his deal. He did not have to get an extension. You and I talked about this. He wasn't coming off a great year, wasn't healthy completely, and he had 2 years left.
Yeah.
But I understand why they want to keep him.
He's a pillar.
Yeah.
You don't move on from these guys. You know, he is coming off ankle surgery this all season, so we'll see how that looks in the short term. But long term, the big picture view is this is a guy you want to build around. And hopefully when you do get your quarterback in-house, when you have Pete Carroll as a new head coach, who knows? They're picking in the top 10 this year. Maybe they go out and grab one of those quarterbacks there. Maybe it's a Sam Darnold or somebody else like that in free agency. You know, Max Crosby is in that class of the names that you mentioned, right? He's got that type of talent. Has he put it all together just yet? But I believe he can be a defensive player of the year candidate with the skill set that he has. So the money is big time, man. It is.
Let me give you his old money.
Yeah.
Because that way everyone will know what kind of a raise he got. So 2 years ago, he signed a 4-year, 2 years ago, This is how fast the NFL is moving and how much they feel like they have to keep throwing more money at their stars. Because like I said, this guy had 2 more years left on his contract, and you said coming off an ankle injury. They were very justified in saying, let's wait a year. Let's see how he bounces back. Signed a 4-year, $94 million extension 2 years ago. That's $23.5 million a year. As a non-quarterback, a guy that rushes the passer, very important. So I just want to put that in context, and the fact that he is still only 27, so that adds to it. And he's considered, as you've mentioned, one of the best defensive ends in the league. All right, so now we know what he was getting paid and what he signed just 2 years ago. $100 million, almost $23.5 a year. What is he getting now?
He signed today, AR, a 3-year, $106.5 million extension. That, and you know my favorite part, that includes $91.5 guaranteed. Get the bag, Mad Max. I see you. Pete Carroll came into this building, and I'm sure he looked around and said, this is a guy I want. And do everything in your power to sign him, because it would make no sense to me to trade him or do any of those things right now. You're just going down a bit of a dark path early when it comes to, can he go back to being that same guy off of this ankle? That's the only question mark. Outside of that, I have no issue with this, because this is what franchises do, and this is what they'll do for years to come, is take care of their own, especially when they have a track record of being a dude, which Max Crosby is one of those guys.
He's a dude. I'll give him that. He is. It's just one of those things where he wasn't getting away from you, and he hadn't requested a trade. And it's amazing that this happens, but he is the right age to try to extend him again and get ahead of where this money is always going for these positions.
And this is the type of money you can throw around when you're a franchise that does not have significant dollars committed to quarterback right now. You can do these moves. You can make the argument, does the timing make sense? And I hear all of that, but because they don't have that $50+ million contract at the top of their books, you can go down the road of paying this guy, and it's such an important position. Outside of the quarterback, it's the guys protecting the quarterback, the guys catching the ball from the quarterback, and the guys hunting the quarterback down in the trenches. And that's one of the positions that he plays.
Yeah, and a lot of this isn't, I don't go just on sacks. I mean, because we're not looking at tape and saying how he impacted other sacks and how he impacted hurries, how he impacted mistakes by a quarterback and all that. But if you did want to reduce it to just sacks, I would tell you that this man will make in this new contract, if you just went on sacks, he had 7.5 sacks this past season.
How many games did he play?
I want to say
I just want to know
10, maybe 10, 12. I don't know.
Not terrible. You want more, though, with what you're saying. I hear you. You want more. I do want to.
He made $266,000 per sack, or will. He's going to make $2 million a game, and he's not a quarterback.
Yeah.
They're printing money.
But it's the position that you need to hunt those guys down, and especially when you're the Raiders and you're in a division with number 15. That also includes Justin Herbert and a rookie quarterback in Bo Nix, who looks like he's on the come up as well. Within your own division, you got to have guys that can heat those guys up, get those guys, off their timing and all of those things that it takes to frustrate those quarterbacks. And I was in the quarterback documentary, I believe, on Netflix, where Max Crosby, he's the thorn in Mahomes' side. Like the team in general, the Raiders, probably not, but they've got this thing going on where it seems like he can get in Pat's head when they play. And so that's another angle of this as well, as where we're at and the teams that we face twice a year. There's some good quarterbacks in this division, and the best quarterback in the league is in our division, and we got to make sure we have somebody that can get home and create some static around him.
All right, we'll pivot real fast here because Steve Sarkisian was on with Colin Cowherd, and he was talking about the matchup against Ohio State in Week 1. CB, I think the one I'd probably want to hear is that last one, really about the impact of Game 1. It sounds like he's okay with playing these big boy headliners out of the gate now because of, as we all know, the expanded playoff. You can lose these and still be okay. But I think he still wants to put out there in the atmosphere like whoever loses this game shouldn't be punished.
Hopefully the team that doesn't win that game doesn't get punished from the committee for playing in that game early in the season, because I think that's the hardest part with the committee when they're trying to decide who's worthy of being one of those 12 teams. And it's always right. It's teams 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And looking at strength of schedule, looking at who you play rather than just staring at the record, who did you play? How did you play in those games? I think is as important as anything.
They are looking at that. It goes to your strength of record. The bad news is for the loser is it's one red L. And that means you probably only have 2 more that you could burn and think you could get in. And most of these teams, and maybe Ohio State proved this year, that you don't necessarily, it's not be-all, end-all, that you have to have the bye, that you have to be rested, long season. I think ideally most coaches would want it. Ohio State didn't have that choice, so they played the hand they were dealt, and they played it to a championship level. So, but Ohio State also avoided going to the Big Ten championship game and having to play that game.
Yeah.
An extra game there, which Oregon did play. So who knows? Each team is built differently. We don't know their injuries at the time. Yeah. I think if you ask Coach Day or anybody, they'd say, listen, all things being equal, I want rest. It's a long season. I want to gear up for it. I want to study for it. I want to coach my guys up for it. And if we play one less game, if it takes us one less game to win a championship, I'd always choose that route. Mm-hmm. But I don't think he has a ton to worry about other than the fact that if you lose the game,
it's just pressure, especially when you play in the conferences that these two teams play in, right? You're talking about the SEC and the Big Ten on Sark's side of things. You come to the shoe week 1 this year and you get handed an L, and I don't know what the rest of their schedule looks like, but we know that conference is a grind. And so that just applies a ton of heat around your team to, like you said, lose one more game, maybe 2, depending on who you're losing to. But then you just need so much help elsewhere. So I'm here for these games. I love them to start the year. I love to ask those guys, when you are a Texas or you're in Ohio State, or like we saw last year, Ohio State and Oregon, would you prefer that game to be week 4 versus week 1? Like, there's so many different factors that go into all of it. But it's going to be an amazing atmosphere over there. They're coming in here with Arch Manning, who looks like he's going to be a dude. And for both teams, it's going to be a great test to find out, all the work that we put in, all the recruiting that we did, are we on the same level? But as the other program, more importantly for Texas, can we get to the same level as the reigning and defending national champs?
So it's a great question you just raised. And I think it'd be interesting to ask Coach Day that, you beat Notre Dame both those years. One year you had him week 1, the next year you had him week 4. Mm-hmm. And I think his answer would be, it depends on my roster. Depends on what kind of team I have.
Yeah, team I had last year.
How young is my team? Yeah. How young is my quarterback? I think this year, to answer your question, I'll answer it. You absolutely you'd want it if you could have played it like last year. We had Akron, Western Michigan, Marshall leading up to a bigger game. You would take that.
I agree. With the squad that he had last year, that being Coach Day, we can play that game right out of the gate because I got vets that are ready to go.
That's right. All right, we're going to come back. If we don't know the details, how do we know it's disrespect? One guy does. You'll hear it next. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
We're known for 3 things: games, conversation, and common man yelling about things only he cares about. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Get your furnace fixed fast. Call Care Heating and Cooling, 1-800-COOLING.
You're invited to Circle K's Inner Circle Members Celebration. On March 6th, Inner Circle members across Columbus will get an exclusive 40 cents off per gallon from 6 a.m. until 11:59 p.m. Want to join the party? Just download the Circle K app and create an account to join Inner Circle. Don't miss your chance to save 40 cents off per gallon on March 6th all day. Sign up now. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit the Circle K app for details.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
It's the limited time tax sale. You buy 2 windows, you get 2 free, plus no interest until 2030 and an extra $500 off only in March. Call them today, 614-502-5220, universalwindowsdirect.com.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
That's the sound of a Mountain Dew. And that's you enjoying its refreshing citrus kick. That's a cool breeze suddenly whistling through your hair.
Whoa!
That's you realizing you're now on a mountain.
This is epic!
That's you stating the obvious. That's you stepping up to the plate. That's you winning your kickball game.
Yeah.
That's you taking another sip of your Do the Do.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter, and spring's going to be here before you know it. I know it feels cold now, but before too long, you're going to be outside running around, jogging, wanting to do golf, explore time with your family. Get outside and do the things you love. Just be active. And listen, a lot of my friends, they're asking me about QC Kinetics joint treatments. They want to know if they should consider it for their joint pain. And if you're wondering, maybe you could be a good candidate, let's see if the answer is yes to any of these questions. Quality of life impacted by chronic pain, knees, hips, back, shoulders, other things. Trouble sleeping, walking, day-to-day movement? Check. Next, avoiding surgery, the pain, the downtime? Check. Most importantly, do you miss doing the things I talked about when the spring and summer are here? Check. Don't wait. If you answered yes to one or any of those, you'd be a great candidate. You can go in there, go to QC Kinetics, ask for their free consultation, find out what it's all about, learn about the latest advances in regenerative medicine. They've got locations in Dublin and Gehenna, or you can go to qckinetics.com/Columbus, or better yet, call 380-208-4544.
This is the White Castle Call of the Crave, and it can happen anytime, even right now. So for a limited time, go get your hands on crispy shrimp nibblers. Only at White Castle. Follow your crave. Limited time only.
Morning Juice.
I tell you that Willie loves Jack White, and then my mom can't keep the name straight of it. And she goes, so who is that, Black Jack or Jack Black? I'm like, those are very different ends of the Jack spectrum.
Morning Juice is sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Weekday mornings at 6. The Fan.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is, fast for cash. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family. I even buy my tenants won't pay me the rent houses. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
There's endless possibilities. There's billions of books out there, so there's no limit to what I can read.
The reasons why I love reading is because I get to see different perspectives of other people's lives.
Reading age-appropriate books by diverse authors with diverse viewpoints opens the world for young readers and helps them find their own voice. Join the Ohio Education Association in celebrating Read Across America all year round to help create a nation of diverse readers ready for the future.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Nice and mild out there right now, but the temperatures are going to take a nosedive this afternoon as a cold front moves on through the region. Showers expected to redevelop around 4 o'clock and continue through tonight, eventually transitioning to a few snow showers after midnight. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your 10 TV weather impact forecast on 97.1 The Fan.
Bet365, the official online sports book of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Rothman and Ice present Pre-Snap Reads.
Sponsored by Newman Roofing. Call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF. That's 614-NEW-ROOF. Or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
All right, Bet365 time.
Let's do it, AR, because at Bet365, we don't do ordinary. Bet365 has launched a new sign-up offer. You bet $5, you get $150 in bonus bets, whether your bet wins or loses. Customers will receive bonus bets after signing up.
All right, I feel like I'll give you a little refresher on some futures. The little three-way feast paid off last night. It was dicey, but Ohio State got it done. I had Ohio State, Oregon, and Purdue at plus 110 on that parlay. So they all hit on the money line. So I've almost deserved the right to not make a bet tonight. And so, but I'm going to give you a little parlay future. So every book I've seen has the Cavs winning it all at like 5.5 to 1.
Yeah.
And Bet365 offered you the Cavs yesterday at 7.5 to 1.
Mm-hmm.
That's ticked back a little bit on Bet365. They're still offering you a boost. They're going to take you to 7 to 1.
Okay.
I waited on the Jackets because of the schedule. The plus 160 to make the playoffs is now plus 190. So if you parlayed those futures, and those would be big, the Cavs to win it all with the Jackets to make the playoffs, you'll get 23 to 1.
Okay.
It's obviously the harder one for me. If I asked you that question, what sounds harder to do?
Yeah, where you at?
Cavs winning it all. Just getting all the way and winning it all. They certainly have what it takes. I think the Jackets have a better chance to make the playoffs than the Cavs do of winning it all. But I look at them somewhat similarly in my mind, even though Vegas is telling you the Cavs winning it all is much harder because of the parity at the top with OKC and Boston.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I just wanted people to know that if you parlay that, and you can do that on Bet365, you can take advantage of the bet boost you're getting with the Cavs to win it all, and you're getting a little inflated price now on the Jackets since they lost last night. If you want to mental hedge it and wait till the Jackets, if they lose to Florida tomorrow, and it might go up to 2-1, but I think plus 190 is a pretty good price now.
Yeah, I like what you laid out there, and Cavs just keep cooking, man. 11 wins in a row after last night's performance. They host the Miami Heat tonight. Another cool story happening in the NBA is a team being led by former Cavs head coach and JB Bickerstaff, because don't look now, but that Detroit Pistons team that was absolute joke a year or two ago with that losing streak that they had is now 6th in the Eastern Conference and 9-1 over their last 10. So Cade Cunningham and the gang are absolutely cooking. A big piece of this is Malik Beasley. And so if you go over to 6th man of the year odds right now at Bet365, he's second in line behind Peyton Pritchard at minus 130. But the value of Malik Beasley, I like with the amount of games that are left. So he's at plus 170. So he got rid of that Larsa Pippen curse, and he's locked in up there in Detroit. So I'm going to put a little sprinkle right now on Malik Beasley at plus 170 to run down Peyton Pritchard for the 6th man of the year award. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Download the Bet365 app today. 21 plus only, must be present, in Ohio. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. Offer subject to meeting qualifying criteria.
And may the odds be ever in your favor.
All right, so the target price for T. Higgins, we have no idea. I'm going to guess that he thinks he's a $30 million receiver. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure he'd love to sign a 125 for 4 and have
80,
I would say
80 of a guarantee?
No, I'd say 2 years guaranteed. 2 years, 60.
Ooh.
It's better than 1 year on a tag.
No, of course it is.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, if I got 125 in total, I think I need more than 60 guaranteed. That's just me. Whatever.
And I wouldn't know any of this. My point in all this is I'm just trying to guess why this isn't working. Why it isn't working with Cincinnati. And I believe he probably believes he's a $30 million receiver, and they probably view him as more of where the tag number is, probably about 25, 26. Mm-hmm. And so, but one of the great Bengal receivers back in the day, Chad Ochocinco, a.k.a. Chad Johnson, talked about how he's putting this all in a disrespectful category.
They tagged him again. Your reaction?
Disrespectful. It's disrespectful. All it's saying, the first year, all right, you tagged me. Okay, you want me to bet on myself. You can see if I can repeat it and do it again. The second time you tag me, it's like when you like a girl, you're interested in her, and she puts you in the friend zone. I don't really value you long term, so I'm going to put you in the friend zone, and we going to, at some point, sometimes they say, all right, it's allowing the Bengals to buy themselves enough time to maybe work out a deal. But if you wanted to work out a deal, you would have done it a long time ago. Because there was nothing wrong with me the previous season. Okay, I proved myself. I was productive again, and I understand what T can make on the open market. I love T. Higgins. I love the Bengals. I love the organization. But if you don't value him long term, why even play this game? Let him go, let him walk, because I have a great understanding. He has a great understanding what he can make on the open market. But if you're going to do it and do right by him, which is I think is going to be hard, even with the salary cap going up, you got to pay Jamar Chase north of 40. Yeah. You have Joe Burrow tied up. Then you have issues that we need to address defensively on the defensive side of the ball. You have Trey Hendrickson, who was also due. What do we do? But I don't know. We're going to see.
What we're going to see, Chad, is whether or not he elects to sign the tag.
Yeah.
If he thinks talks have broken down, and that's what I'm reading, Chad, is that, hey, they wouldn't have tagged him if they thought they could get something done, if they really wanted to. And maybe T thinks they don't want to. I don't know. Mm-hmm. We just don't know about that. But if he doesn't sign the tag, then all of a sudden he's open to being moved. And then he can go out and get the money he feels he deserves.
Yep. And the unfortunate, because we talked about the unfortunate timing for T, right? And him coming up again for a possible long-term extension at the same time as Jamar Chase. The unfortunate timing for the front office is what the Philadelphia Eagles just showed the world. And is that they committed to 2 wide receivers at pretty high dollar figures and a quarterback in that $50 million club, and they just won the Super Bowl. Now, the context of that is the deal that Devonta Smith signed, and that's $25 a year. Because I agree with you, AR. I think that T, rightfully so, should be asking for $28 to $30 million. And so it's not the easiest thing to do. But Joe Burrow, I believe we played a clip coming out of the Super Bowl where he looked at Philadelphia and mentioned Philadelphia and the success that they had by winning the ultimate prize and alluded to, if they can do it, then why can't we? So I'm sure these guys are applying a bunch of pressure behind the scenes, and rightfully so, because T and Jamar deserve new contracts. I'm sure, but Duke Tobin is probably looking at, well, is this going to put us in a bind as far as what we can do outside of that if we do go down that road? But if for T and Jamar, they're probably like, that's not my problem.
No, it's only their problem that they're playing on that team, and they want the team to be as good as possible. But you're right. Their priority is their own and their money, but they want to continue to be contenders. I think what tipped our hand into thinking that maybe they could get this done is they released Alex Kappa and Sheldon Rankins. We talked to Lap this week about it. And so that had to help, because I think people do believe it is difficult to get a market value extension for Higgins in addition to paying Jamar Chase the money they're going to have to pay him, and whether Trey Hendrickson can get an extension as well. And so it's
in the Sam news is that's a wrinkle thrown in this equation now, because Sam's retiring, and credit to him for having a nice career leaving Ohio State and going down to his home city and doing his thing. But now with him out of the room, Miles Murphy has given you nothing as a first-round pick who you thought could be on that D-line. The Trey Hendrickson thing becomes even louder now with the Sam news today. So they got a lot of work to do.
It is, but with Sam retiring, that's more money. That clears more money that they can use in cap space.
Who you getting? Like that's the other thing. Who you getting? Cap space is cap space, but you got to.
Jamar, T, Trey, Gesicki. I mean, they've got.
That's what I'm saying. They got a lot of work to do. They do, man. It's a lot.
Last I checked, they were still giving up points. All right, we're going to come back and try to zero in on our guy Sevo down in the FLA for a little Hockey and Hounds in 2 minutes. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
Common Man here for Worthington Jewelers. I was the voice of another company for a long time, and then my good friend Bob Capace changed my mind about the jewelry experience. 25 years of local, 25 years of relationships. Experience the difference for yourself just like I did. The spring bridal sale is going on right now. You buy one, you get one 50% off. The best prices of the year on natural and lab-grown diamonds. Worthington Jewelers on High Street in Worthington, worthingtonjewelers.com.
Get Eco.
Hey, Aaron. Hey, Jerry. As much as I enjoy being a professional inventor, a few of my dream inventions still elude me.
Oh, yeah? Like what?
Well, the bruiseless avocado.
Ooh.
The unlosable TV remote.
Could change the world.
And for you, Aaron, the uncloggable drain.
Get Eco.
Until you crack it, Jerry. Our 93 free drain clearing offer is the next best thing.
Okay. Explain yourself.
Get Eco.
Our drain team will clear your drain for just $93. If we can't clear it, it's free. And we guarantee it'll stay clear for at least a year, or we will clear it again for free.
Get Eco.
We'll even send our little robot camera down there to make sure you don't have a larger problem that could cause more trouble in the future.
Get Eco.
You think your guys could bring that robot over to my place and help me find that TV remote?
I think that's impossible even for us.
Get Eco.
Eco, plumbers, electricians, and HVAC technicians.
GetEco.com.
Get ready and gear up for the Open Season Sportsman's Expo, presented by Progressive and Can-Am. Join us at the Ohio Expo Center from March 14 to 16. You'll find hunting products and top-notch gear at show-only prices. Showcase your buck in the Trophy Deer Contest and learn from industry experts. Even trick shooting with Byron Ferguson. Discount tickets at OpenSeasonSportsman'sExpo.com through March 13. Be sure to check out Tacticam and Toyota Tundra, official cell cam and truck of the Expo.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
You'd think that dog conversation wouldn't necessarily blend with hockey talk, and you'd be wrong.
You idiots!
Like a fine wine and dark chocolate, it's going down smooth. Rothman and Ice present Hockey and Hounds.
Sponsored by Telhio Credit Union. If you know Telhio Choice Checking, you know all the perks that come with your account. Find the checking account that fits your needs at telhio.org.
Now, joining the Hockey and Hounds League is Jackets blue liner Damon Severson, a man who skates hard so his dog Reggie can have a better life.
Indeed. Sevo is with us. Hockey and Hounds brought to you by Telhio Credit Union. Fourth in ice time on the CBJ. 21 points this year. That's third for CBJ Blue Liners. And he's with us now from Florida. Sevo, thanks for the time on the day off.
Yeah, not a problem, guys. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. All right, so the winning streak got snapped here, and I think a lot of fans would say that from the start of the game that maybe there was a little emotional hangover from the Stadium Series that whole week, the home and home with a rival winning. Does that sound like an excuse to you, or is there a little legitimacy to that you guys put so much emotion into what happened here last Saturday that you couldn't quite flip the switch out of the gate last night?
Maybe a little bit of both. I'm not sure. I mean, you don't want to use it as an excuse, obviously, but it was an emotional week, emotional few games, a lot of fun, obviously, playing outdoors. So, obviously it was a couple big wins for us against a team we've been battling with, and I guess the schedule makers, when they made those dates, it couldn't have lined up better and couldn't have worked out more perfect with two teams battling for some playoff positioning. So, it was definitely an emotional time, a great week for us, and now we've hit the road here, and obviously had a tough one last night, but we had an opportunity to hopefully bounce back in Florida, and I think we take a flight home after the game tomorrow to have the day off, and obviously we got the trade deadline coming up Friday, and then we hit the road again to New York and Jersey before coming home again. So it's a busy schedule for us, but we definitely need a few of these games on the road to kind of keep our mojo going.
Steve, you mentioned the trade deadline. I want to ask you this. Is that something that you guys talk about a lot, amongst yourselves, whether it's out at dinners, in the locker room, or whatever it is, like what you guys would like to see the front office do, or do you guys stay away from that?
I think there's some individual and conversations amongst maybe smaller groups of guys, but it's not necessarily in big groups. There's obviously, everyone's going to have their opinion on what the team wants to do, no matter if you're a player, coach, a manager, a fan, a parent, whatever you are. Everyone's got their own opinion on what's going on and what they'd like to see happen. But at the end of the day, there's somebody in charge of taking care of that, and there's a staff behind them that controls that as well. So there's a few conversations that happen kind of behind the scenes, and some guys joke about it, some guys are serious about it, and obviously there's so much stuff that goes on in the business that you never know what could happen on a yearly basis, on a day-to-day basis, and obviously when there's deadlines put in place like this is when things and decisions have to be made. So it's an interesting time, but everyone knows it's coming, and once it's passed, and that's the team. So we're just prepared for it, but we have one more game before the deadline, before the final decisions get to be made, and we'll see what our team looks like for the remainder of the season.
Well, there was a little news today with Olivier getting his extension, and I want to get your feeling about Ollie and what he means in that room, because, listen, everyone loves this guy. They've fallen in love with him, and he's not just an enforcer. He's been a very versatile winger for you guys, a power guy. His ice time is up in his career. He's got 12 goals this year, too. He's had 18 in his total previous 5 years, I believe. He's not a massive guy, right? He's got short arms. He's 6'1", but he's got a lot of fight in him. And I just wanted to get your feeling on, as a blue liner, how you look at him as a power forward and what he brings to the room, because it's not just rock'em sock'em. He seems like he brings a lot more hockey to the equation.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that you're bang on with that. He brings the hockey element too. It's not just the tough side. It's not just the fighting. He's a good player, and he works at his skills, and he works at things that he knows he can get better at to help our team on the ice. But yeah, there is times that obviously he uses his hands for multiple things, including fighting, and he's very good at that. He's a strong guy. He's a tough guy. No one really messes with him, and when he's on the ice, you don't see many guys in the other team messing with his line mates or his teammates, knowing that they're going to have to deal with him if that's the case. So he's kind of established himself more as a kind of a multi-dimensional player now, and it's not just the hitting and the fighting. It's being able to kind of get those greasy goals in front of the net and chip in any way he can possible. So it was a good extension for him. Happy to hear that and happy to see that for him. And funny enough, I was sitting with him when he officially signed it. So that was kind of cool to be a part of that, and he was very happy. You could see the smile on his face, and it's a big day for his family. And so, like you say, it's fun to see that stuff because he is, he has one of those mean faces and serious faces when he's on the ice playing, but when you're away from the rink, he's a real great guy. And so I was really happy for him to get that extension with us.
That's cool. Obviously the game didn't go the way you wanted it yesterday, but baked into the game and games here recently, Sivo, as you know, is the play of Kent Johnson and Fantilli. I mean, these guys both right now have 6-game point streaks, and they just seem to be figuring it out. Just talk about their growth and what you've seen from both Kent and Adam so far this year.
Yeah, they've grown up for sure. I know Fantilli, I think he's mentioned it a few times, whether it's been in the media or it's been around the room. He's just kind of slowed his game down a little bit at times, and when he first came in, he was kind of ripping around 100 miles an hour everywhere you get, and sometimes that's not necessarily the case. Everybody knows he can fly around it there, and he's a great skater, but sometimes you do need to kind of slow the pace down a little bit, and he's understood that a lot. And for KJ, it's actually kind of been a little bit of the opposite, the way KJ's kind of played. He likes to slow the game down, likes to control the puck and control the pace of play a lot more. And but at the same time, he makes those smart decisions, and he's able to kind of lure guys in and suck guys in to make the little plays. And you can see some of the chemistry some of these guys are creating, and it's fun for me to be a part of too, just knowing that I'm going to give the puck to these guys as a defenseman. I can kind of jump in the play, and I got the confidence in them to get it back. And it's a pleasure to watch. That's kind of what you want as a team when you draft guys and when you bring guys in as young players. You want to develop them, and so far so good with those type of players, and we hope to continue to help them get better throughout their careers.
Sivo, where do you sit on contender and stuff like that? I mean, you guys have been the talk of the NHL coming off the Stadium Series. I know as a pro, you got to take these one game at a time, but they're very important now. And just give me a little thought on where you think this team is right now. A lot of people say maybe you're overachieving, but I think maybe the water is just rising where it needed to rise with this team. People want to try to describe what's happening with you guys, and I'd rather ask you, how do you describe what you were expected to be before the season to what you are now?
Well, that makes that changes the question for sure. Just from what we were expected before the season, there were so many things that were happening. Obviously, prior to the season, everybody knows about Johnny Gaudreau, and everybody knows about the tragedy that happened for us. And when you lose your best player, best forward, it's going to take a toll on you. But the only thing that we've done is we've just tried to do the best we can to not, try to play like Johnny, but we want to use that, because no one can play like Johnny. He's one of a kind type of player, but we wanted to use that memory of him and how he kind of played the game and came to the rink every day with that passion to kind of propel us forward. And each and every guy has brought that sort of mentality to the rink every day, and we've just kind of understood the style of play we needed to play. And so from the start of the season, to answer your question, I don't think the expectations were very high for the Blue Jackets, and for up until now, we've exceeded expectations, but, the year is still far from over. We still have over 20 games left, and no one's going to be talking about us, if we follow the position we're in right now. So the goal at the start of the year was to make the playoffs, and then anything can happen. So currently we're in a playoff spot. We want to keep it that way, and we're going to have to try to win as many games as possible down the stretch here to get in, because, it's not going to be an easy stretch for us. We're playing against a lot of good hockey teams, but we've overachieved up until this point compared to what people have said. We always believed in ourselves as a team, and we always believed we'd get in the playoffs. But from just what the naysayers would say, or the media, or whoever you want to talk about would say, we have exceeded some expectations. But the expectations put on. I know for myself and my teammates, we always expect highest standards and results. So, it's great that we're there, and it's always good to kind of stick it to people who doubted you, because I've had to do that plenty of times in my career as well.
Yeah, and it sounds like you guys are built for this pressure run. There will be some, obviously, because now you're in position to protect this and to make sure you run through the tape here and get to the finish line. I have some good news for you. Kona, I know you love that name. That was our dog from Gigi's the last couple of weeks we talked to you. Kona has been adopted, so it's a wonderful little story there. We were very happy to hear that Kona got a home, and she certainly deserved it. The dog that I'm going to promote today, and I want people that are on Instagram to check out some of these foster-based rescues are my favorite. These are people that have full-time jobs, and they still choose to be part of the rescue group and the foster family. This is New Albany Pet Rescue. So NA Pet Rescue on Instagram featured a dog named Leroy. Now, Leroy is such a special boy because he's 4 years old, and he's a Yorkie Dachshund mix. And I'm not kidding you. He is so adorable, this dog. And we need a foster for Leroy, or even an adopter would be the dream. He likes dogs. He likes cats. And New Albany Pet Rescue is a great foster-based rescue, and they have Leroy right now, and they'd love to see Leroy in a foster home. And I really hope that someone goes to the NA Pet Rescue Instagram page. He's the first one featured, and you will just fall in love with this guy right away. So hopefully we have some good news for you on Leroy in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, that would be great. No, Leroy is another cool name, so sounds like a cool little dog. So hopefully we get him, whether, like you said, a foster family or a permanent home. That would be great news to hear in the next few weeks for sure.
I saw that your wife, when she was wearing the hoodie on Family Skate Day, had a little picture of Reg there on the sleeve.
Yeah, she did. She never leaves him out, and he's obviously a huge part of the family. So I think the wives and the girlfriends had a lot of fun making some of the jackets and hoodies they wore during the Stadium Series weekend there. And, a lot of people put their dogs in there or anything kind of that was important to them on the sleeves. So he's a huge part of the family, and we brought him along on the jacket. So that's funny you recognize that, because a lot of people did mention the same thing.
Yeah, very cool. All right, best to you, my man. Go get Florida and turn this thing around real quick. And we'll talk to you when you get back.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Sevo, on his day off. Damon Severson with us, Hockey and Hounds, brought to you by Tel-Higher Credit Union. For 90 years, Tel-Higher Credit Union has been there for you. I am a member. You can join a community that values your financial needs, as I do, and provides exceptional service every step of the way. Tel-Higher Credit Union, we thank you for being part of Hockey and Hounds since the very drop of our puck. When we come back, tell the truth. That's next. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
Tweet from a listener. Are you carrying the Buckeye game today? Considering we've never not carried one, yes. The answer is yes. The Fan.
Welcome to Nada Yada Island.
Next on Metro's Nada Yada Island podcast.
I almost fainted when the 4 new bombshells arrived. 4 free Samsung Galaxy A16 5G phones at Metro.
No way.
And finding out the 4th line is free. Oh, things got heated.
That's wild. Join Metro and get 4 free Samsung 5G phones. Only at Metro.
Plus tax. Bring 4 numbers and an ID and sign up for any Metro Flex plan. Not available currently at T-Mobile or have been with Metro in the past 180 days.
Common Man and T-Bone here for the ESPN Bet Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Bone, did you know that March has a lot of college basketball?
Why, yes, I did, Common Man. And the best place to watch all the action and play the action is at Hollywood Casino. You can reserve your table now at HollywoodColumbus.com.
Not only that, every Saturday in March is UFC Fight Night. They're showing every fight on the big screen. Watching at home is boring. Don't be boring.
All the action happens at ESPN Bet Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
New treatments for joint pain are here. By now, you've heard about regenerative medicine. If you're wondering if you're a good candidate, answer these questions. First, does chronic pain in your knees, hips, shoulders, or other joints keep you from doing the things you enjoy? Golfing, jogging, time with the family. Does it hurt doing the things you need to do, like getting out of bed, sleeping, working, and walking? And finally, do you want to avoid surgery and all of the pain, long recovery, and uncertainty that comes with it? If you answered yes to any of those, you need to call QC Kinetics now. Learn about exciting advancements in regenerative treatments that can give you long-lasting pain relief with no drugs, no surgery, and no downtime. Get your free consultation today. Call QC Kinetics. That's QC Kinetics. Here's the phone number.
Call now, 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. QC Kinetics, 380-208-4544.
If you're like most Americans, you've racked up tens of thousands in credit card debt. You're stuck with 20% interest fees, and even the monthly payments, well, they're hard to make. It's insane. Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. The good news is that there is a way out. AFLcash.com. That's AFLcash.com. Advantage First Lending. They specialize in fast, easy access to the equity in your home. Most homeowners have hundreds of thousands of dollars in their home equity. That's your money. AFLcash.com can get it out for you with zero junk fees and zero hassle. You can pay off all those credit cards in just a matter of days. Pay off your car loans too. Cut your monthly expenses by $800 or even $900. I'm telling you, the relief you need, well, it's right there at your fingertips. AFLcash.com or call 844-394-CASH. That's 844-394-CASH. Break out of the credit card debt prison with AFLcash.com.
Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 1209177. Subject to lender approval. NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
Hi, here are some ways to listen to The Fan. You can download the Fan app, or listen at home on your smart speaker, or open up the iHeartRadio app, or hold your head out the window and hear Common Man scream. Happy listening from the dopes at The Fan.
You still thinking job change in the new year?
Yeah, I need something that's in high demand and more stable in this economy.
IT?
Yeah, cybersecurity, maybe even AI.
That's what I did.
Really? How?
Went to My Computer Career. You don't need any prior experience, and you could start your new career in a matter of months. A lot of IT pros go to school there, too, to level up.
Sweet. Are classes online or on campus?
Both.
Well, I'll check it out. Thanks.
Make this your year. Take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students.
Meet the new Monopoly Bonus Spectacular scratch-offs from the Ohio Lottery. Scratch off greenhouses to reveal winning numbers for a chance at over $113 million in total cash prizes. That's a spectacular amount of winnings. 5 games from $1 to 20. Multipliers from 5 to 100 times. Chance bonuses and top prizes up to $1 million. When you play the Monopoly Bonus Spectacular scratch-offs, what you find under a greenhouse could change everything. Monopoly is a trademark of Hasbro. Lottery players are subject to Ohio laws and commission regulations. Play responsibly.
Want to know anything about the Fans contest, how to win, or what's up for grabs? Check out 971thefan.com. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Tell the truth with Rothman and Ice.
All right, CB, what you got?
All right, so around 11:30 this morning, while we're sitting back in the cubicles, I brought up this question to Matty Ice because I remembered what his fry, what would you have called last year, fry abstinence or
not eating fries for a whole year.
But
I think it was just your abstinence. I think is what he wanted to say.
But you chose cheeseburgers this year.
Go ahead.
So the question I was going to ask Matty Ice before, I thought, hey, let's wait for truth, is what is the first burger you will have when you break the fast?
Boy.
Wait, you're on another fast?
Yeah, myself, Cole, and Tyvis are all doing this. Now, I think Cole did milkshakes for the whole year. I'm not sure what Tyvis is doing. I tried to get DeVere in on this.
Entire year.
Yeah, DeVere's doing candy. He's not doing candy the whole year.
No, give me some candy.
He texted me the other day and said, are cough drops allowed? And I said,
come on.
You're kind of towing the line, Depot.
Cough drops.
You're towing the line. But Depot's locked in on candy. Cole Bartimus is doing milkshakes, and I'm doing burgers. The first burger I have to have, CB, it's got to have some bacon on that thing. It's got to have bacon. So we'll probably go bacon, cheddar cheese, grilled onions,
barbecue sauce.
And I was going to say like either a barbecue sauce or a concoction of barbecue sauce and ranch. I wouldn't be mad at either.
Well, my angle...
And hold on, some onion straws. Some fried onion straws.
Wait, grilled onions and fried onions.
Oh, yeah. I want them both. BOFF that thing.
Well, the angle was going to be the place you wanted to go. I know you're a big fan of the Rodeo House burger at Burger King, but was there a place in mind, or was it just the toppings?
It's just the toppings more than anything. I cannot remember the place at Easton where I swear, North Star Cafe. To me, that burger is amazing. So many great burgers around the city. But if I'm just going CB for like a straight-up cheeseburger, I'll probably be taking my talents at North Star Cafe. But if I'm BYOBing a burger, building my own burger, then I'm going to build what I just laid out for you. Yes, they are fried onions and grilled onions.
Yeah, that's like suspenders and a belt.
There you go.
You can't handle the truth.
Oh, man.
I would probably have gotten the Five Guys, saved up a little bit for that when the time came, but I totally get it.
Okay.
Next up, my question is the fan poll is sponsored by Caster Connection. How far will the Ohio State women go in the Big Ten tournament? Will they lose in their first game in the quarterfinals? Will they reach the semis, reach the finals, or the Matty Ice special, win the whole thing?
I love how that's become my special. Sometimes I do get emotionally just wrapped up in the stuff, and I go all in. I'm going to go.
You sure about that?
It is officially print the shirts season. Yeah. Hey, we're getting close, man. Read stuff that people think Ellie De La Cruz and Matt McClain going to be the best middle infield in the league. By the way, speaking of print the shirts, A.R. Beamer gave me permission this morning when I saw him based off of the happenings in Chicago when it comes to the offensive line signings. He says that I'm allowed to say that the Chicago Bears can print the shirts for the 2025 NFC North title. That's how hyped up he is.
What does he have to lose? Except more games. Not protecting anything. Go ahead, print the shirts.
Hey, they were pretty
He's not
good last
jinxing
year.
anything.
But I said, Beamer, do I have permission to do it? And he said, yes, you can say print the shirts for the Bears to win the division. No hype. He's like me. He gets hyped up and he can't control himself. I'm going with reach the finals. They're getting there.
And then lose. You wouldn't be wrong. You wouldn't be wrong because if they face UCLA or USC, the same thing could happen that just happened to them. Now, it'd be hard to beat them twice, but I feel like the problem is that UCLA and USC, when they got them good. And so we have to wait and see. So I'm with you. I think that's a good prediction.
Yeah, Juju Watkins for USC is just built different, man. She's just an absolute bucket.
Yeah.
Did you say I know my truth?
I know my truth.
All right, the use of the franchise tag I know probably makes AR a little sad. It has gone down quite a bit with it in the last decade. Only 2 of them were used this year. I think Trey Smith was the other for the Chiefs. I believe that's correct.
You're
but
right, CB.
There were 2 players that had the tag used on them. We obviously know about T. Higgins. The question is, tell the truth, will he eventually get to the point where the franchise tag is removed from the NFL through collective bargaining?
I don't know. Listen, what happens when you do these tags is you're tagging very good players. So inherently it comes off as disrespectful because these players you feel are worth more than just that tag, even though they're getting 120% on top of what they had. So T. Higgins in anybody's neighborhood is going to get a really big payday. But you're playing a violent sport. So when I say out loud that, hey, you're getting 120% pay raise from the Bengals, that sounds pretty damn good to a lot of people. But I understand him getting a $5 million raise to him is nothing because it doesn't guarantee anything way down the road. We're paying him. The Bengals are saying out loud, we're going to pay you like a top 10 wideout. And that's a fact. But it also doesn't do anything for him after this season, as we all know. So
it's like a promise ring. Like giving a girl a promise ring instead
but she
of
gets
the real
to keep
ring.
the ring, and the ring is worth more than the one she had on her finger before.
My thing is like, hey, you give a girl a promise ring. Like, okay, it's a nice form of love, but it ain't the real thing. T. Higgins is like, give me the real thing, and that's years and guaranteed dollars.
So the ring and the necklace and the bracelet.
No.
And
It's just
else.
the real engagement ring. A promise ring is you give that, hey, one day we're going to be together forever. But for now, this is just a placeholder, and that's what the franchise tag is. It's a placeholder for these guys. There's
a pretty
there's
damn
no
good
commitment.
placeholder. I'm just saying you can't look at it as like one's a replica ring and one is the real thing.
No, but
the replica is actually worth more than the one she's wearing.
You can't give a girl a promise ring.
Even if it's real, she gets to keep it?
And expect her to be like, this is a great commitment for years to come. No. I'm like, get the damn ring, go to Jared, and quit playing around. The Iceman cooling off. Yeah, let's get rid of the franchise tag, though, CD.
Oh, I love it.
Coming up on Common Man and T-Bone, it is Wild Card Wednesday. Jeff Rimmer joins the program at 5:30.
All right, we will come back tomorrow at high noon. It is a Gold Jacket Thursday, and we'll find out who is going to be throwing on that gold jacket at 2:30 tomorrow. Listen then. We're Rothman and Ice, and we're on the Fan.
The only show where sports talk is eclipsed by food talk. Oh, nuts. Common Man and T-Bone.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
The Fan.
1-800-GOT-JUNK is your friend with the truck.
We make junk disappear.
All you have to do is point.
All our people are in uniforms.
And our trucks are clean and shiny.
And big.
We leave spaces empty and clean.
For you.
1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
Hi, welcome to IKEA.
Look at that selection of outdoor furniture.
Yeah, whatever your space or budget, you'll find a setup for outside.
How about an outdoor chaise lounge for my...
Get some sun side.
Yeah, and a table for my...
Come on over, I'm grilling side.
And outdoor lights for my...
Date night on the patio side.
Ooh, you're good.
I try. We've got what you need to create an outdoor oasis. Plus, delivery starts at $19 when you shop online or choose to pick up at your local store today.
Go to IKEA-USA.com for more details. Restrictions apply. Some products may require assembly.
They're trained. They're fired up.
Let's do it.
When you need heat, they can't be beat. They're Ohio State's undefeated heating and cooling team. For plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling, there's only one team. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222 or visit them online at thewaterworks.com. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Hey, it's Anthony, and I've got a fitting personalized for you. From the moment you walk in the Good Feet store, they're going to take the time to understand your unique lifestyle, your daily routines, and most importantly, the pain that brought you in to see them in the first place. If your feet ache after a long day or that discomfort starts radiating through your knees, your hips, your back, I've been there. The Good Feet store is going to help you where you need relief and find the arch supports that work best for you. And they're working for me. I walked all over the place in New Orleans covering the big game. I was loving it. I literally was walking for miles around the French Quarter, Canal Street, everywhere, because I had my personally fit arch supports in my shoes. For more than 30 years, the Good Feet store has helped thousands of people get back to feeling comfort on a daily basis. I want you to be one of them. Go in, take the free test walk. They're immediately available. Good Feet products are proudly made in the USA on Polaris Parkway and on Stringtown Road in Grove City or goodfeet.com.
Are you turning 65? Are you looking for Medicare Advantage coverage? Great news! The Ohio State Health Systems and Mount Carmel Health Systems are in our provider network. Aetna has Medicare Advantage plans that include prescription drug coverage with a $0 monthly plan premium. Plus, the plans include benefits like dental, vision, and hearing. Call Aetna today at 1-888-76-AETNA to learn more. One of our licensed agents will answer your call. Call today, 1-888-76-AETNA. Aetna Medicare is an HMO PPO plan with a Medicare contract. Our D-SNPs also have contracts with state Medicaid programs. Enrollment in our plans depends on contract renewal. Plan features and availability may vary by service area. Participating healthcare providers are independent contractors and are neither agents nor employees of Aetna. The availability of any particular provider cannot be guaranteed, and provider network composition is subject to change. Other physicians, providers are available in our network.
Discover uncompromising quality at a reliable price with Giant Eagle and Market District. Find everyday savings and bargains on produce, meat, and more. Look for signs throughout the store highlighting long-term lower prices. With our weekly sales, deals for days promotions, and My Perks loyalty program, Giant Eagle helps make the most out of every shopping trip. Surround yourself with savings at Giant Eagle and experience value like never before. Visit Giant Eagle and Market District today to see how easy it is to save.
How high is your credit card rate? With rates as low as 9.90% APR, a Visa Platinum credit card from BMI Federal Credit Union is the perfect low-rate card for your wallet. Apply today at bmifcu.org/visa.
The Reds are on the radio.
Long fly ball, deep left center field, way back, it is gone!
This could be an inside-the-park home run. Ellie De La Cruz is on.
He leaps and he caught it.
20 home runs on the year for Spencer Steer.
What will Terry Francona's 2025 Reds look like? Find out for yourself. Cactus League play is underway. Hear all the action on your home of the Reds.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.